For more than a century, the Western Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic League has crowned league champions on the gridiron. That rich history helped turn Pittsburgh into a football town over time. Since the early 1900s, kids around Western PA have grown up dreaming of playing on the big stage, in front of big crowds, and for the biggest stakes. Today, a select few will live out that dream, to play in the same game where legends were born and history was made. It's Championship Saturday, where pride is on the line, and the only thing that matters is raising that golden trophy. The WPIAL Championships on Pittsburgh CW start right now.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 6A WPIAL Championship game presented by UPMC Sports Medicine. We have the two top teams in 6A going head-to-head in what is a rematch of a game won by Mount Lebanon earlier this season. They're 11-0, ranked number 1. Central Catholic, the Vikings are 9-2 with two great head coaches, Bob Pompeani and Chris Schneider. We're live on the field in Norwin here in Irwin. It's a beautiful facility. It's a beautiful night. It's got to make you think back to the days you played.
Perfect night. November football, cool, crisp night, two great teams. I'm excited to be here, and I anticipate a great game tonight.
It should be a great game. It was the first time around, even though it took 2 days to complete because of some weather. Let's take a look at the bracketing here and how these two teams got here. Again, a limited field in 6A, so they only had to win one each. And Mount Lebanon took care of North Allegheny 28-17. Central Catholic, they doubled up Seneca Valley 42-21. So for all the marbles here tonight, and we got some great playmakers on both sides. Gannon Carruthers leads the way for Central Catholic, and he is a workhorse.
He is a workhorse at 200 pounds. He's a between-the-tackles runner that can't take it the distance. He's a powerful runner. He'll run over you. He'll run by you. I would anticipate he'll go over the century mark tonight and get a heavy workload in this championship football game.
Puts his head down and goes to it. On the other side, you have a lot of guys, including Alex Texa. He leads them. Averages, you can see some impressive numbers there. 1,500 yards rushing. He gets it done.
He does get it done. The 6', 200-pounder is a patient runner. Likes to put his foot in the ground and make that cut, hit that cutback lane, as you see right there. In the first matchup, he had a monster game, so he'll have the attention of this Central Catholic defense tonight.
And he has a compliment back there, too. Eli Heidenreich. Very good running back. There are a lot of weapons on the field here tonight for both teams, and you're going to see him in action right here as we continue live from Norwin. It's the 6A championship game, and we bring it to you on Pittsburgh's CW. Kickoff is coming up next. High school football on Pittsburgh CW is powered by Dunkin', the official coffee and donuts of the WPIAL. The WPIAL runs on Dunkin', and by CCAC, now enrolling for January 2022, and by Remax Select Realty. Find your home. Almost ready to go here at Norwin High School for the 6A championship. Mount Lebanon in the gold uniform. Central Catholic will be in the white tonight, and Central has won the toss. They will take the ball. And right off the bat, we'll get a chance to see their offense. And we have two outstanding coaches here. Chris, when you talk about the two of the best in the game, you're going to have to dig deep to find two better ones than these guys. But Terry Totten and also Bob Palco.
Yeah, 14 championships between the two of them. I mean, excellent coaches, excellent teachers. As you see them right there, know both of them, both great guys. As we found out earlier, they were both coached together, cut their teeth together at IUP, which is really neat. But couldn't have better teachers on the sidelines, especially for kids that want to play football. These two guys got it, and that shows with their results.
And two of the most decorated guys when it comes to WPIAL championships as well. Bob Palco with 8 of them at West Allegheny, looking to bring Mount Lebanon back. They haven't been to this game in over 20 years. And now it's time for Chris's Keys to the Game, brought to you by CA House Music. The keys to the game are what, Chris?
Well, for Central Catholic, it's about bottling up the splash. And what do I mean by that is they got some home run hitters on this Mount Lebanon offense. Heidenreich, Texa, and then Daniels at quarterback. They've got to bottle them up, make them earn yards and touchdowns, no big plays. And for Mount Lebanon, it's about improving efficiency on that offense. Last week, only one offensive touchdown. Their touchdowns came via special teams, interception, defense. So they've got to be really efficient on offense because they have the playmakers to do it.
They certainly do. Both teams have playmakers all over the place. You're going to see a really good game coming up here tonight. Brandon Jackson is back deep along with Gannon Carruthers. There he is, number 4, the 5'11", 200-pound senior who has been the bell cow, the man who gets most of the action back there, and he will be a factor in this game tonight. But also J.D. Younger, Antonio Pitts, they use those guys, and there's Brandon Jackson, the senior receiver, as they will get the ball first. And Central Catholic, like I said, they played this game earlier, and it was a 2-day affair as it turned out with a weather interruption. And it was Carruthers who took the opening kickoff back 95 yards in this game before Mount Lebanon came back and won it.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're kicking to a guy like that, and that happened in a previous game, it's in the back of your mind. So we'll see if the Mount Lebanon special teams does some sort of directional kick to try to keep the ball away from him.
Noah Buda is kicking the ball off, number 38, and we are underway with the 6A championship game here, and it is a shorter kick taken by one of the upbacks there. He's trying to get to the outside, and he does have the corner. Beautiful return by Antonio Pitts, and Pitts takes it into Mount Lebanon territories. You got to the outside, so that, I guess, backfired a little bit. If you're trying to keep it away from Carruthers, they got other guys back there too.
Yeah, Pitts does a good job fielding the football, and you can see he runs right, and they lose containment on the outside. I thought he was going to run out of real estate, but he turned the corner, and as you mentioned, now deep into Mount Lebanon territory. What a way to start this drive. And as we talked about, most teams take a coin toss, and if they win the coin toss, they defer. They decide to take it. They got a good start there on the first special teams play.
All right, so it's Peyton Wayner at quarterback. He is the sophomore. Last year got hurt in this game. Gannon Carruthers is the running back and the guy who's going to get most of the action there. We got a pass as he rolls and finds his receiver, and that is Brandon Jackson. Jackson gets inside the 30, 25-yard line, and that's good enough to move the chains and a first down for Mount Lebanon.
Wow.
For Central Catholic.
Yeah, nice play immediately right there. They run a little bootleg and get a good play on first down.
All right, let's take a look at the Central Catholic offensive starters. Peyton Wayner, the sophomore quarterback. Carruthers, J.D. Younger. Peter Gonzalez, the son of Pete Gonzalez. Brandon Jackson, you just saw him with the ball. And here is Carruthers now trying to get around. Cuts inside. He's a good cutback runner. And he gets some good yardage before. We have a flag. Eli Heidenreich made the tackle on the play. And they're talking it over down there. So it's a holding call, as you see Tom Trilly making that call right there. Mark Wise, part of his staff, and there are tonight's officials. So that'll nullify, which is a nice run there by Gannon Carruthers.
Yeah, you got to hold out in space. I think it was one of the wide receivers out there, and called and negated that big gain.
All right, Josh Altsman, the tight end, into the game, number 19. Keep an eye on him. They utilize him in that position there. It's Brandon Jackson in motion, and now it's Wayner keeping it, and not much available. Well diagnosed there by Mount Lebanon. Again, it is Eli Heidenreich who makes the call, and now it's time to take a look at the Mount Lebanon defense. Grayson D, William Harvey, big play there. Owen Halter, along with Tommy Boehner. Jack Smith, number 7. Charlie Pellegrino. King Ward, Texa, Heidenreich, and Matt Wirtz complete that. And here we go again. This time, Wayner up the middle. Gets to the outside, gets a block from Carruthers, now slides inside the 20, and that's a smart play as he gets close to first down yardage. And a good play by the sophomore quarterback, who this year has 16 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions, and he's very good. 64% completion rate when he does pass.
This is not your typical Central Catholic team right now. They're going tempo and out of the shotgun.
Tempo, 3rd and 4. And now a flag comes flying. And it is an offside call. And so the tempo may have added to the confusion there.
Yeah, when you're used to seeing Central Catholic in years past, they were a power football team, line you up in the I formation, push you around. And but this year they're going a little bit more up-tempo, and there's the penalty right there, and they get the free 5 yards in the first down.
Grayson D was the man who jumped offside, so it is a first down now for Central Catholic. After a nice opening kickoff return, now it is Carruthers, and he is into the end zone for the first score of the night. Gannon Carruthers, who had 179 carries coming into this one. That's 107 27 more than anyone else on the team. He's the workhorse, and he got it done right there. Nice blocking at the point of attack, too.
Yeah, great blocking. You said, watch this hole open up. They just run the little zone read right there. You get a kick-out block right there. He gets north and south, shoulders square. Easy run through that hole for Carruthers, adding to his touchdown total. And it benefits them. They took the opening kickoff, and they made it pay there on the opening drive.
Tanner Fuchs had a big block there, again, to free him. Point after is good, and an impressive first drive. Central Catholic wanted the ball. They got the ball, and they took it all the way down and scored 7-0. They have the lead early. Mount Lebanon goes on offense for the first time tonight when we return to Norwin. You know, although Mount Lebanon hasn't made it to the penultimate game here in Western Pennsylvania in over 20 years, they do have history with the finals. They actually played in the very first WPIAL championship ever held at Three River Stadium back in 1970. They won that game over Kiski 35-12, and they've won 7 WPIAL titles in school history. But it's been a while, and Bob Pelko comes over here now, part of his second stop after a tremendous career at West Allegheny. And now all of a sudden this team is in position to do something they haven't done in a while.
Yeah, it took them 3 years for them to turn it around, really. And if you get the opportunity to hire a coach like Bob Palco, why wouldn't you do it? He obviously came in and he's put his mark on this program, and that's what he's going to develop as a program here. And it's paying dividends here early in only his third year.
So right off the bat, it's Central Catholic takes the ball, goes down the field, 6 plays, 36 yards, a 19-yard touchdown by Carruthers. And they have the early lead here, 7-0. So Mount Lebanon, we're going to get a chance to see these two dynamic offensive players, and Eli Heidenreich and Alex Texa. They're both back deep to return this kickoff. Special teams always a factor, and it wasn't that first one. And certainly you didn't expect something like that on a short kick. The up back took it, and Pitts is a very talented kid as well, and he turned the corner and had something going there for Central Catholic. And now Heidenreich trying to make some moves to the outside. He's a tough guy to bring down, and Eli Heidenreich gives him good field position there at 16 yards on the return. And so Mount Lebanon goes to work on offense. This guy, you're going to see a lot of him. He has 14 catches that have gone for touchdowns, part of his 35 yards or 35 catches on the season. So he's dynamic. He knows how to cut back, as you see all of this on display in this return.
Yeah, Heidenreich, he's a Navy commit. He's going to the service academy, and he's going to play in the A-back for them. Talented player, and you'll see him in the backfield and out on the perimeter in the receiver slot position.
All right, so Joey Daniels in a quarterback here, the senior. And it's going to go to Texa. Texa cuts back, spins across the 40 to the 44-yard line. And that's a nice gain on the play. J.D. Younger makes the stop. And here are your offensive starters for Mount Lebanon with Daniels, Texa, Heidenreich, along with Anderson and Biersdorf. Grayson D is your tight end. Up front is Capristo, Hunter, Klein, Austin, and Joey Peters, as they go to work for the first time in this game. On offense, Eli Heidenreich is now going to take snaps, and they're going to do this quite a bit. And Mount Lebanon likes to employ a lot of different kind of looks here, and this is going to be Heidenreich getting it across midfield, and this is first down yardage. And now your defensive starters here for Central Catholic. Casino in front, Alessino and Ty Uhas, along with Donovan Heinisch, one of the best in the WPIAL. You go right down this list. Specca is a guy who was injured, and he's one of the key guys for them as well. Carruthers plays defense. Cushenberry. They certainly have a lot of talent there defensively as well. So Daniels, Heidenreich. And this is going to go to Eli Heidenreich as he gets to the outside now. Look at him go. Beautiful run after the catch. You always look for those yak yards. He picked it up right there. A nice gain as they get another healthy gain there on first down.
Yeah, get it out in Heidenreich's hands quick. You'll see Daniels right here, 3-step, get it out there. He gets a block, makes a guy miss. And you can see the ability to make some guys miss and picks up more yardage right there. Right now, Mount Lebanon trying to get rhythm offensively and doing a good job on here on this first drive.
So Mount Lebanon trying to counter what Central did right off the bat. Jack Smith and Alex Texa back there. And now a flag goes flying.
Offsides on the defense. They're going to get a free 5 yards and pick up that first down.
Dead ball, encroachment on the defense. 5 yards, first down.
So turnaround is fair play right there. They had it the other way around, and now all of a sudden a little tempo, and all of a sudden it results in 5 free yards.
Yeah,
so first down.
Yeah, going to try to blitz that A gap. Gets there a little too early. And in college, I mean in high school, you don't have to touch the guy. If you just get into that neutral zone where it's at, it's a free 5 yards.
Number 3, Joey Daniels, 22 touchdown passes. They utilize his arm, even though they have a dynamic run game. They can do it a lot of different ways for Mount Lebanon. Now a quick hitter goes to Heidenreich. Heidenreich with a blocker downfield across the 20, close to the 16-yard line, and another big pickup right there. J.D. Younger brings him down, but not before. Heidenreich moves the ball deep into Central Territory, gain of 14.
Yeah, not an easy concept. If you don't cover the guy out there, and he's a really special player, throw him the ball as fast as you can, and this is what can happen. He gets north and south, and now they're inside the red zone.
Yes, a Navy recruit. And from what Bob Palko was telling me, he scored a touchdown every game he's played, Chris, over the last 2 years.
That's amazing when you really think about it. You know, to go out on every Friday night, not miss a game, and score a touchdown. Good for him, man, and it's paying dividends for him. And with that offer he's got.
Now it's Jack Smith who takes a direct hit, and this one is diagnosed beautifully by Ty Yunus, and he makes the tackle there for a beautiful defensive play. Let's go downstairs. Our third member of our crew is Rich Walsh standing by. Rich.
Guys, 2 legendary coaches in this matchup, and you don't see a coaching matchup like this too often, especially in a WPIAL title game. It's actually the most WPIAL championships between coaches ever in a WPIAL championship game. 14 WPIAL titles between the two. And by the way, a side note here, these guys go way back. Actually, their first coaching job at IUP, they were roommates. Palko was a student assistant, and Totten was a grad assistant. Guys?
And Rich, I asked them, do you have any secrets? They were not willing to tell me anything here about each other, but I know when they get together, they do have fun stories to tell. And now it's Daniels scrambling around looking for an open receiver, and finally has his man there, and it's Texa. Texa makes the play, cuts down close to the 10-yard line before the pursuit finally gets him, but that looked like it was going to be a well-diagnosed play for the defense, and they come up with a very nice play.
Turns into a little backyard football. I mean, his first 2 reads, he was trying to go left. Scrambles a little bit. Texas just waiting for him. He's kind of his outlet receiver. Daniels does a good job of finding him, and then you can see what Texas can do when he has the ball in his hands. Makes a guy's myth, get north and south, inside the 10-yard line, and they're knocking on the door.
So Anthony Speck on the play defensively, but not before. They come away with a big, healthy gain right there. Up the middle it goes to Texas, this time nothing doing. And a good play right there defensively.
Good job by that defensive front. Malachi, Missouri, coming in there and making some penetration and getting a stop. We're going to have a 4th down play here. What will Mount Lebanon do?
Well, it looks like they're going to be in a mode of scoring as much as they can. So they're going to go for it 4th and 2 now with 6:29 left in this first quarter. 7-0 Central on the first possession. They got a good return. Took it the rest of the way, and a 19-yard score by Carruthers. So now it's Daniels getting another call in from the sideline. Texa in the backfield. And it's going to go to Texas, trying to get some extra yardage after being hit. And a beautiful play there defensively by Malachi, Missouri, but it depends on where they're going to do it. Does it look like they have it?
I think they got the first down.
But it was
right
a good
there.
effort right there after he was hit.
Yeah, hit in the backfield behind the line of scrimmage. You can see the balance, though, that Texas has right there to kind of just drag him along, and the strength that he has to take the defender with him. Good play by Missouri, just a little bit better play by Texas right there to get the conversion.
And the tempo continues here for Texas, and that's a very good play after he said it could have been a loss. Texas gets it again. Dragged down from behind, but he gets close to the goal line right there. And that is Alucino, who falls on top of him, but not before they come knocking at the door here now.
Boy, this game is going to be a really good battle in the trenches. You can see both these teams are playing downhill, and they're coming after each other. And it's going to be a tough one in the trenches tonight. Who's going to be tougher? Who's going to create the holes is going to determine this game. It's going to be won and lost at the line of scrimmage.
Some really good, talented defensive players here, too. We'll talk about Anthony Speck as we go along, but right now it's Texa, and he's going to get the call, and he's going to go in. Alex Texa scores to counter the touchdown by Carruthers. We talked about both those guys in the opening, Chris, and right off the bat, both have made a remarkable contribution to their teams.
Yeah, impact on the game, the direct snap out of the Wildcat. You can see the feel Texa has for running the football. His 18th touchdown here rushing this year, the 6', 200-pounder. He's a senior. He knows the importance of this game. He smelled the goal line, and he got there.
You can see why it's very difficult to try to defend this team with both Heidenreich and Texa, and the kick is up and good. They combined for 229 yards per game and 29 rushing touchdowns combined. So that's a 10-play, 64-yard drive. 4:52 off the clock, and it's 7-7 with 5:11 left. First quarter of the 6A championship game. It's Alex Texa who converts, and we are tied at Norwin. We're back here at Norwin High School. It's a 7-7 game for the WPIAL championship. Central had the ball first, and they drove right down the field. 19-yard touchdown by Gannon Carruthers, 7-0. And then it's Alex Texa completing a 66-yard drive to make it 7-7. And up-tempo is something that you don't normally talk about when you talk about Central Catholic. They don't normally do that. However, they added to their coaching staff with former Pine Richland quarterback coach Todd Yoakum, and he seems to have brought some of that over here to this team. And you don't normally see Terry Todd, and it's normally just 3 yards and a ball of dust. And they've added something to their team.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't change his philosophy. It changes the style, the way they play. He's always going to want to establish the line of scrimmage. He wants to win up front, as both coaches do. It just adds the tempo now to it. But you still got the principles still remain the same. Let's win the line of scrimmage. But if we can do it efficiently while playing fast and we can add the tempo, that puts the defense at a disadvantage. And we saw them do that there on the first drive. And to be honest, I didn't know if he had it in him to change enough. I mean, he likes that, that power formation. Let's go get downhill and play smash mouth football. But sometimes you got to adapt to what your talent does. And he's done it. It's been pretty good for them this year.
Yeah, but it certainly helps to have Gannon Carruthers back there. He's going to do just about everything you can ask him to do. And he did it on that first drive. He plays defense as well, like a lot of these guys do here. So we'll see second opportunity for Central now in the 7-7 game. Brandon Jackson is back deep along with number 4, Gannon Carruthers. And now it's a little onside kick, and it's recovered. A little bag of tricks there. How about that? And Mount Lebanon has the ball, and we didn't expect that, but you do in a game like this expect something from Bob Palco.
I mean, what a great call. And, this goes back to, preparation. The front line for Central Catholic was 15 yards from the ball, and they were retreating initially. So they're at the 45-yard line when they could be at the 50, which is 10 yards. I mean, for them to be able to do a middle dribble like that and not have any Central Catholic player even make a play on the ball tells me you got to move that front 5 line up to the 10-yard line. You got to move them up to where they should be, which is 10 yards.
Charlie Pellegrino was the guy, and he was how many yards down the field before he even touched that ball? It was beyond 10 yards.
Beyond 10 yards.
And you don't see that normally with that sort of kick, and
no.
Charlie Pellegrino was there. So a little bit of a surprise, and so Mount Lebanon goes back on offense now after they just scored. I wonder if those guys talked about that as roommates when they were at IUP. Who knows? And now, ball batted in the air, but it's going to be taken in by Heidenreich. He's lucky that ball didn't get intercepted there because it was up for grabs. And it goes for a short gain nonetheless. J.D. Younger was there after the ball was hit into the air.
Yeah, I mean, in Malachi, Missouri, who we've mentioned his name a couple times, is he the one that almost made the interception on that?
He hit the ball in the air,
He hit the ball in the air right there, so we've seen him out playing on the defensive line, coming off the edge. Now we see him out in pass coverage, and boy, that was almost a pick. Get the ball right back. And nonetheless, Mount Lebanon does make the catch, secure it to keep the football here after that special teams play they had.
Yeah, now we see a Wildcat, and again, it's going to be Eli Heidenreich, who's going to take a direct snap, get some blocking, and burst through the hole. Heidenreich goes down inside the 35 to the 32-yard line. And a nice play by Robinson Waddell there to tackle him. But again, he and Younger combined a little too late. They get first down yardage. Just a good, simple heads-up run.
Yeah, good job of that offensive line. They get a seal on the edge right there with Peters, number 55. And then you can see Heidenreich hits it up in their shoulder square. They get good blocking on the outside. And they pick up the first down, but it looks like it's going to come back because of a hold.
Well, that was a 12-yard run, too. Well designed, well executed, but somebody did something they shouldn't have on the holding call. We'll see what the call.
That holding call was probably at about the 40-yard line, a 10-yard penalty, right around there. So
that takes what would have been a first down and moves it back at the point of attack, 2nd and 16 now. And they got a full backfield. It's going to be taken by Alex Texa. Texa doesn't have much to go right there. They show you a lot of looks, does Mount Lebanon in the backfield, and you never know who's going to get the ball. They spread it around pretty good, but Texa didn't have anywhere to go there, Chris.
No, he was going left, and you can see how kind of patient he's got to be right there and try to hit that cutback lane, but guys do a good job defensively filling the gaps. Heinisch and those guys, and they do a good job of filling the gaps. There's Heinisch, the Notre Dame recruit, following in the footsteps of his brother, who's currently at Notre Dame. And good football player right there. You know he's tough. You know he plays hard, and he's reliable.
6'2", 275. And he is heading to Notre Dame. They were big winners today. He's trying to be a big winner here tonight. So now it's 3rd down, 15 yards to go, and we have a stop. I think they're looking at the play clock over there. Something might have been wrong.
Down to 2 seconds, it looks like, so probably going to hit the reset on this. Boy, after you get the special teams, great play on special teams, you know, to get to recover the onside kick, then you get a good run, and you get the holding call though on there. Puts them behind the chains now. Now we get 3rd and long.
Yeah, all it takes is one penalty. You hear all coaches all the time talking about those kind of penalties and what they do to drives. They are drive killers. And that was promising because they had it inside the 30 before that penalty was called. So they start the clock again as we approach 3 minutes left in the first quarter. 7-7 game. We expected a really good, hard-fought game with a lot of dynamic plays offensively, and so far we've seen that. Daniels and Texa now in the backfield. Daniels is the man under center. And he's looking down the field. Good coverage so far. He rolls right. Daniels now throwing the ball. It's out of bounds. Again, good coverage play there by Central Catholic. He didn't have many options, and he threw it away.
Yeah, he missed his initial read. He had his receiver like Heidenreich running right down the middle of the field. If he could have been in rhythm to make the throw, but he got flushed out of the pocket and then throws it away. So they get the special teams. Great play. And the penalty negates it, and now they're going to punt the football away. So they stole a possession, but no result for it.
All right, so it's Brandon Jackson back deep as he'll receive this punt. As what was a promising second drive for Central Catholic, or for Mount Lebanon, I should say, results in a punt. They were knocking on the door, but penalties will do that. And now the kick here by Noah Buddha, and this is going to be hit, fumbled, but right back. It was a muff situation there by Brandon Jackson, but he falls right on it. Fortunately, did not get away from him. He does recover, and Central Catholic goes back on offense now.
Yeah, dodge a bullet right there. Fortunately, the ball didn't bounce away from him. Gets back on it. Mount Lebanon would have had a red zone possession on a turnover, you know, on special teams. And that's one thing Mount Lebanon has done very well this year. Has been really good on special teams. Last week with a punt return. You see them this week with the onside kick and almost a recovery there. But so you got Central Catholic coming back on offense for their second drive. See what they do here and see if they get back to that tempo like they did on that first drive.
Peyton Wayner at quarterback. Hands up the middle, not much there at all. Mount Lebanon's defense limits the gain, and it's going to be 2nd down and 9. And they do have some big guys up front who get the job done when given the opportunity, and certainly they're mindful of Gannon Carruthers, who scored earlier. He's going to get a lot of the carries there.
Yeah, they do have nice size up front with Alessino and Fuchs and Primrose and Nugent and Fontana on the offensive line. Good size, and they do get a push. As you saw, they dominated the majority of opponents in 6A.
This time it's Carruthers, and he's going to get first down yardage and more. As he gets into the secondary, Heidenreich is there to make the stop, and not before he gets that first down yardage. That's a gain of 10 yards.
Man, what a great run. Look at the hole right there. He sees it, gets through it, and then he gets physical at the end of this, finishing over his pads, taking the defender down, running him over there for a good gain in the first down.
Here we go again, up-tempo, this time nothing doing. And that is Connor Young, who comes from behind and makes the stop there on Carruthers. But in the previous play, Tanner Fuchs had a big block to open that hole. He also was the guy who sprung him on the 19-yard touchdown. So he's only a sophomore on that offensive line for Central.
Yeah, you see Carruthers right there. You know, when he gets north and south and vertical, I mean, any running back that gets north and south and vertical quickly, results are much better. Here he goes wide, he gets strung out, and no gain.
So now it's Wayner looking for instruction from the sideline on a 2nd and 12 play. Well diagnosed there by Mount Lebanon. A quick hitter, and it goes to the outside. It's going to be a short game. Nice tackle in the open field right there. Peter Gonzalez is the wide receiver, the sophomore, who had 16 catches this year, but he didn't have much room after he caught the ball.
Now, a 3-step drop. You get a little hitch route right there. Good throw, good catch. Easy pickup there. Puts him in a much more manageable 3rd down for Peter Gonzalez.
Matt Wirtz was there to lock him up, and a good open field tackle. And you see, of those 16 receptions, 6 of them, or 4, have gone for touchdowns. And he is the son of Pete Gonzalez, who used to play at Pitt.
I think
you remember him very well.
I think I know him. I think I shared the backfield with him a couple of times when we were at the university together.
He's a good golfer, too. I know that. Both of you are. As we move along, and there's a negative play there by the Mount Lebanon defense. Beautifully done by Jack Smith. The linebacker, the senior, came in, and there was not much available there.
Yeah, off the edge right there. You can see that's more of a cover shack, I think. I mean, he had time to throw the ball. No one open down the field. Jack Smith comes off of his block after after Wayner steps up, makes the sack, forces this punt.
All right, we've reached the end of the first quarter now. Back and forth we go. It started with a touchdown by Gannon Carruthers. Alex Texa tied it up, and that's where we are after 12 minutes. It's 7-7 in the 6A championship game as we continue live right here on Pittsburgh CW. Hey, the WPIAL Championships on Pittsburgh CW are brought to you by First National Bank, the official bank of the WPIAL. Let's get started. And by UPMC Sports Medicine, building better athletes. And by Carlow University, preparing students for the careers of today and the future. Bob Pompeani and Chris Schneider back with you. Rich Walsh down on the field, and we have a 7-7 game. And a lot of kids from both sides are in attendance here tonight. Good to have fans back. Good to have excitement in the stands. And this is just a kickoff of WPIAL championships. We got 5 of them coming up next week as well. 2 on Friday, 3 more on Saturday. And we'll have those 3 for you here on Pittsburgh CW. Now we have a punt. And this is by Matt Shearer. And it's going to be downed at about the 34-yard line. Heidenreich was back. He didn't bother touching that one. So Mount Lebanon gets the ball back. And they'll go to work trying to take a lead here for the first time tonight. Central Catholic came out, in case you just missed it, and joined us. Well, they took the opening kickoff. Nice return by Pitt. Set up a touchdown by Carruthers as he scores from 19 yards. And then it was Texa completing a long drive by Mount Lebanon as he gets a 2-yard score. And that's where we are right now at 7-7. Joey Daniels at quarterback, number 3. He's going to go to, what a beautiful run there by Texa. He gets across midfield and into Central Catholic territory. He's a very talented guy. Made a quick cut right at the line of scrimmage and gains 22 yards.
Yeah, you know, this will drive a coach nuts. Watch, the guy's in position to make the tackle right there, make a guy miss. And then Texa, that's what he does. He gets into the secondary and he can get north and south. And a big gain there for them on first down.
And you can see his numbers. Almost 9 yards per carry, 1,500 plus on the year, 17 touchdowns. And he, along with Eli Heidenreich, make it very difficult to stop this team, which is ranked number 1 in the WPAL and undefeated this year. Once again, it's Texa to the outside this time. Gets a block by his wide receiver, now cuts inside the 20. He's inside the 10, down to about the 7-yard line. A beautiful run. Robinson Waddell was there eventually, along with Keith Cushenberry, but it was too little too late as number 5 gets big yardage right there. And
yes.
That's a gain of 40-plus yards.
Yeah, zone read, and you can see they get the edge sealed again. They get blocking on the perimeter. Then Texa does a good job of getting north and south. You can see right here, he tries to split the defenders. And when you do that, it gets another 5 yards added on after the contact. And now they're inside the 10-yard line.
And this is where it's tough now. You have Heidenreich back in the game. They come at you with a different amount of looks, and you just pick your poison here trying to stop these two in the backfield. It's Heidenreich with a direct snap. Gets a block from Texa, cuts to the outside, but a good play at the end of that denied him more yardage. So really difficult challenge if you're another team trying to stop these two.
Yeah, I mean, in Texa and Heidenreich, really similar. I mean, both 6 foot. I mean, one's 200, 180, but their skill set obviously is really similar as far as, you know, their athletic ability and what they can do. Heidenreich, you know, obviously plays a little bit more on the perimeter because Texas in the backfield, but interchangeable. You know, these guys are interchangeable, and they're both dangerous when they have the football.
Now, once again, it's Tex up the middle, trying to get that yardage close to the goal line. Or Heidenreich, I beg your pardon, or was it Tex? I can't. We have a flag on the play once again, and that may go against them.
Illegal line, 5 yards, repeat the down.
So you got a legal formation. Back them up 5 yards. Replay the down. Now, if you're the offensive coordinator here at Mount Lebanon, all you've done is you've stretched the field a little bit now. You have more options. You know, I know that they're running the football, but now you have a little bit more. If you do want to open up the playbook and throw it, you got a little bit more room behind there. But the way they're running the football, they stick with what I just can't see them, you know, not just running the football and stick with what's working right now.
They have 3 wides in the game, but they have Heidenreich in there now taking the snap. And he's going to pass it along to Texas. Texas gets down to about the 5-yard line as they give you something new right there. Malachi, Missouri was there to make that stop. A lot of different possibilities from that formation because they do throw the ball. When Joey Daniels is in there, they've had 22 touchdown passes this year.
Yeah, and Texas right there, I mean, if he actually gets that swing pass and he stays to the outside, they had 2 defenders covering 3 outside. They had him double teamed. And instead, he decided to cut up. And I don't mind that. He gets good north and south. But if he stayed outside a little bit, he could have got to the pylon easily for a touchdown.
Daniels back in the game now, the senior, 5'9", 180. Beckham D also in the game now. And this is the throw, and it's going to go for a touchdown. Brendan Anderson is there. That almost looked dangerously close to being picked, too. He threw it into some pretty tight coverage. But Anderson, the senior, makes the reception. Touchdown pass from Daniels, and Mount Lebanon has the lead.
Boy, he got 2 receivers running the same pattern on the outside. They run 2 whip routes. They come in, that's like a post corner, but they're staying flat, and then you want to throw that down the line of scrimmage like Daniels did. He squeezed it in there for that play. Dangerous, but he got it in there. Good route, good throw, good execution for Mount Lebanon.
It really was, and there's Buda with the point after, and it's good. And Mount Lebanon has come storming back now. And they have taken the lead there on a 6-play, 34-yard drive. Couple of minutes in the books there. Big run by Texas set the whole thing up. 14-7. Lebo has the lead over Central Catholic. Hey, tonight Mount Lebanon is playing for the 6A WPIAL championship, but back in the day, they were actually the very first school to win the Quad A championship. You might remember back to 1980, the WPIAL expanded to 4 classes, and the Blue Devils won that championship, led by head coach Art Walker. Now his son, also named Art, has since won multiple titles at Central Catholic and North Allegheny. That's quite a lineage there with the Walker family. And it goes to show you how long Mount Lebanon's been in business, but they haven't had success recently until Bob Palco came over here from West Allegheny, and boy, in a couple of years he's turned things around. The culture, everything about the program.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, and it shouldn't surprise anyone. I mean, when you win as many championships as he did at his former school at West Allegheny, there's a reason why. He established a program, he established an attitude, he established the bar, you know, and it was about achieving that bar at a level of success. He's already done it in 3 short years here at Mount Lebanon, and don't look for them to go away anytime soon. I'm sure as long as he's there, they're going to be really competitive.
First had a chance to coach his son at West Allegheny, and now we have a little reverse action here, and it's going to go across the 40, and he still has an opportunity to go on this play for a nice return there. That's 48 yards on the return, and again we've seen some razzle-dazzle here, and that was number 9, Liam Kernan.
This is all film study, you know. Central Catholic is saying, okay, we know you're going to kick it short to the right side of our return, or we can set up a little reverse on that, and it's exactly what they do. So they get a big special teams play. And again, this goes back, this is all coaching and film study, understanding what the other team's tendencies are, understanding what they do, and how can we capitalize it, and how can we make them pay and make them think the next time that they kick the football off. And they did it right there, and now they're got great field position here to start this drive.
That was a great bit of balance there on that return as well. So now, handoff up the middle. And it's actually Wainer who takes that ball and gets some nice yardage. Not enough to get the first down, but enough to give them a nice second down and manageable play here as they get inside the 30-yard line, trying to counter Mount Lebanon's touchdown.
Yeah, Wainer, hasn't run the ball much this year. He's a sophomore at 6'1", 160 pounds. He's thrown for 1,300 yards, 16 touchdowns, takes care of the football. Maybe that's a new dimension that they wanted to implement, is have him run the football a little bit more to take some pressure off of Carruthers.
And that would be a good thing, because Carruthers is the guy who gets it all done. And sometimes, and he's the guy there, the pass kind of short hops him there, and he slides down incomplete. But Peyton Wainer last year broke his leg in this game. It was at North Hills, and it was a scary situation for him, but he's bounced right back and made a nice recovery and right back under center for this team.
And missed a big play right there. They had Carruthers on a little, flare pattern right there. All he had to do was just get him the ball in his hands, and he would have had some room to operate, but wasn't able to come away with it.
Now it's going to be Gannon Carruthers. They fake it to him actually up the middle, and they're going to be first down. And it looks like very close to the sticks. If not there, it'll be very close. Once again, it's Peyton Wainer, the ball carrier.
Well, they had been given, Carruthers a lot of those runs on that zone read right there. The quarterback had not been keeping them, but here we're seeing on this drive is he's making the reads. They're probably trying to focus more on Carruthers, and they're trying to take him away. So Wainer's making the appropriate read and getting a good positive yards there the two times that he's ran it.
All right, so they're going to call it 4th and 1. It's short. As they get the call in from the sidelines, but they're going to go for it. And why not? They're getting a lot of yardage. This time, not so much. In fact, it's well diagnosed, and Carruthers is stopped in his tracks. In fact, he loses a yard there. Loss of 2 officially. Beautiful play by Jack Smith, who comes in and makes that play. He, among others, too. 68 was involved. Owen Halter.
Yeah, 68.
There was no chance for that one to succeed.
Now, Owen Halter in the middle, the 6'1", 235-pound senior defensive tackle gets off a block, makes contact in the backfield, and then the cavalry comes. A big stop there on 4th down for this defense here from Mount Lebanon.
Just when you think they were going to put together they thought they had the first down call on the previous play, and it was just marked short. You expect Carruthers to get the call, but then again, everyone did.
Yeah, I think everyone did. And again, in that line of scrimmage, who's winning it up front? And you get penetration like that, make the tackle, obviously it's a game-changing play.
All right, we go with Texa again, and he cuts across the 35. Gets very close to first down yardage there. A nice gain on the play. Missouri is there to make the tackle, but not before Texa gets some very healthy yardage.
Yeah, solid job right there, making a good read, being patient. You see Texa lets the blocks develop inside. Looks like he wanted to cut ups inside initially, bounced it to the outside. He got the blocks, got to the edge, and moves the chains. Texa having a good first half.
He really is, and he is a guy who has put up big numbers, almost averaging 9 yards a carry. You put him in there with Heidenreich as they are right now. That's a tough 1-2 combination. Combined 29 rushing touchdowns this year, so they know how to get things done in these situations. That's going to be enough for first. They had the first down, so it's good to pick up there for 3 when it looked like nothing. Liam Kiernan, number 9, who had the return on the previous thing, makes the stop there for Central.
Yeah, Heidenreich, really, you want to talk about effort right there. Should have been tackled at the line of scrimmage. Looked like he was tackled at the line of scrimmage. Somehow squirts out of the tackle and picks up 3 yards. When you've got special players like that, they find ways to do just little things like that, make a difference in football games.
So second down and 6. And Heidenreich, as we talked about, he's going to the Navy, and part of the reason he committed because of the family tradition there. He said his grandfather and uncle both served in the Navy. So that's something that's been on his to-do list, and he's going to get the opportunity to do it. And they got a good one there. Now it's Texa. Beautiful run to the outside. Texa is going to the 30, the 20, the 10, and they're not going to catch him. Alex Texa, 59 yards all the way to the house. He got a good block to the outside, and then he turned it on. He can show you the strength, he can show you the speed, and he showed both on that play right there.
Wow, what a good job by the offensive line. They blitz the A gap, and they pick it up. A lot of times they would let that guy would run right by and make the play. Texa gets the blocks from the line of scrimmage from those guys. He gets to the outside, and then you can see the speed that he has. Outruns every defender for that touchdown. A great job by that offensive line. And Texa, he's going to get all the accolades, but let me tell you something. It was set up front with that offensive line.
And the tight end got involved as well. A good seal block as well. So That's how you improve the score to 21-7, by getting a big play. And those guys are both capable, boy, and showed the speed there. I knew he's strong up the middle, but he can outrun people too.
Yeah, big solid kid. But remember, they get to stop on fourth down, the defensive stop on fourth down, and then the offense makes them pay with the big play from Texa. 3 plays, 73 yards, only a minute 30, the 59-yard touchdown run by Texa. A good job by this offensive line. Right now, man, they got things rolling.
We'll take a look at it again, Chris, and we'll see some of the blocking that took place on this play to the outside.
Yeah, the A-gap pressure by the linebacker gets picked up, and then you can see he's got a hat on a hat outside right there, finds the crease, and then it's just down the sidelines. He's got great speed. No one's going to catch him. But again, I believe that was set up because the A-gap pressure that Central Catholic brought was picked up. That means that defender's caught inside. They've got 3 blockers on the outside. They pick those guys up, and he does the rest once he gets into the secondary.
Charlie Pellegrino also made a nice block to the outside there too. So once he got that seam, that was over. He was just going to turn it on, and he outran everyone. 59 yards. That's how you make 73 yards of real estate go away in 3 plays. And 21 unanswered points now by Mount Lebanon, trying to remain undefeated. They're 11-0 coming into this. Central Catholic and Mount Lebanon met earlier, and it was a game interrupted by rain, but there were some big plays on both sides of it. And it could have been, I think it was a little closer what the score indicated, but Mount Lebanon got the win. And now a shorter kick goes to the up back. Not much doing there, across the 30 to about the 33-yard line, and that's where Central Catholic will go to work. And they need something now with 6:33 left here in the first half. After taking a quick 7-0 lead, 21 straight. And Central Catholic is very familiar with the finals. Take a look at it here. Since 2013, they're there. And when they get there, they normally do pretty good work too.
Looking for the three-peat.
Now we get an incomplete pass right there.
This to me right now, you want to talk about a crucial drive in the game. You got 6 minutes and 30 seconds left here to go to halftime. You're down 2 scores, knowing that you took the opening kickoff in the first half, so you're going to give the ball back to Mount Lebanon. The last thing you cannot afford to do right now, turn this ball back over and get a good field. You got to sustain a drive. You got to put some points on the board. You got to get out of here only maybe down 14 or 7 points, as opposed to a 3 and out and giving them an opportunity to score some more points before half.
Yeah, remember, Central Catholic won the opening kickoff, took the ball, so Mount Lebanon will get it to start the third quarter as well. That's Carruthers as he gets a short gainer there. Short of the sticks here. We'll see what they can do.
Boy, both these offenses are so similar with what they do, and you can see Carruthers there. He gets to the edge, gets north and south really quick. Solid pickup there at 9 yards. They went away from him on the last drive, I think, because they were keying on him, but I think they know that they got to feed him the football.
3rd down and 1 now. Inside of 6 minutes left here in the first half. 21-7. Lebo has the lead. Looking for their first championship in over 20 years. And Wayner gets hit immediately back there. Not much going on at all. And that's going to be short.
Good job penetration by that defensive line. Number 68 again, Owen Halter in the backfield, creating havoc. Second time we've seen him make a big play here this evening. And now 4th down, crucial part. They looks like they're going to punt the football away. They're in their own territory, hoping that defense can step up and get a stop for them.
Yes, and Matt Shearer is going to kick it to Eli Heidenreich, who's back deep. Terry Totten doesn't want to give him field position here, and they've certainly stood up in 4th and 3rd and short earlier in this game, so we'll see what they do. Heidenreich backpedals at his 20, has it, trying to make a move to the outside. Not much real estate there. Good coverage down the field, and that's where we're going to get it. We'll take a break here. 7-0. Central had the lead, but Mount Lebanon has stormed back with 21 unanswered. That's where we are right now. 21-7 Lebo, late first half. All right, we're back here at Norwin High School. Bob Pompeani along with Chris Schneider, Rich Walsh. 21-7 your score. Terry Totten and company need to get busy here. They had an opportunity, but they were stopped short. Had to kick the ball away. Mount Lebanon really has an opportunity here to make a statement.
Boy, they really could. 4:52 to go here in the half. You got the ball. You know you're going to get the ball to start the second half, man. You could really you could really do some damage here with a drive, a long, sustainable drive here, and with some points, and really open this lead up a little bit further, put some distance between you and the Vikings. And for the Vikings, this is about, they need to get stopped. They need to get a turnover. They need the defense to kind of stand up and make a play with them and get the ball back in their offense's hands here before the half.
Central, you know, last year they won the 6A championship, beating North Allegheny, but their season ended the very next week because of a COVID spread at their school. They never got a chance to play in the state championship, so they're looking to take this step and then one after it. But first things first, they got to deal with Alex Texa and company. Maclay, Missouri is there to make the stop, but it's a tough assignment because this team comes at you with a lot of different players, and we've seen both of them, number 8, number 5, on display in this game.
Yeah, and they're really good at just feeling their way through with the ball in their hands of where they want to go. And they're blocking up front. They're patient, and then they pick a hole, and then they go.
2nd and 7 after a gain of 3. Tex has been the big man here today. The last drive was only 3 plays, 73 yards, but he got 59 of them on the touchdown to the outside. Really led by some outstanding blocking, which paved the way for him to turn on the speed. He gets the ball again up the middle. A nice bit of cutback running to gain first down and more for Mount Lebanon, as they're looking to add to this lead. A beautiful play there by number 5 once again.
Man, small crease. He gets skinny, stays square, and gets through the hole. And a solid 5, 6, 7 yard pickup for Texa. Strong running between the tackles for him. We see him, he can get out on the perimeter. And now you see him right there, squeeze through the hole, stay square, and pick up good yardage.
Gain of 9 on the play, so they're moving again. First down. And it's Texa to the outside now. Specca makes him turn inside, and they wrap him up after that. So that was a relatively short game, considering what might have been, but a good play by Anthony Speck over there.
Yeah, swing pass right there. You see Daniels struggle with the snap, able to get rid of it just before he gets hit. Texa does a good job of making the catch. Small gain, but didn't. The ball was thrown backwards. He made the catch. It could have been a negative play, turned it into a positive one.
So Mount Lebanon on the move once again. 2nd and 8 after 2 yards on that last pass reception from Joey Daniels to Alex Texa. The thing that's tough to do if you're playing against them is Texa gets rolling, and then he gets a spell, and all of a sudden you got a fresh Heidenreich. And this time it's Texa again trying to make a man miss, and he did with a nice little stutter step, and a flag comes flying in late on this one. But again, he has that ability to make a quick move at the line, and boy, picks up about 4 extra as a result of that, but we'll see what the flag is.
Yeah, he's getting to the edge so easily, too, as we see.
The block in the back on the offense. We're going to repeat the down, 10 yards.
It's a spot foul.
So it was thrown right where the tackle took place, so it must have happened right at that tackle point here. You see the hand up high there.
I think they're calling it on. I thought it was on the receiver on the outside, but it's hard.
Yeah, but it's hard to tell on that look.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure there was a block in the back. But nonetheless, they called it.
So instead of a first down, a 2nd and 13 now. And those penalties are killers when it comes to drives like this. Direct snap goes to Eli Heidenreich. Not much doing there as he gets to the 40-yard line as they stop the clock with 2:33 left. Mount Lebanon with the ball and trying to add to a 21-7 lead.
Well, you mentioned it too. You're dealing with Tex, and all of a sudden he gets a breather, and then here comes Heidenreich out of the Wildcat look and the direct snap to him, and then he's able to get to the corner and pick up some yards. They've done a good job, both these runners, of getting to the edge, but they're getting to the edge because these tackles, this offensive line, they're sealing blocks on the edge, and it allows those guys to get there and use their athletic ability to make positive and big runs.
And they do have some big guys up front. You can look across their offensive line, 275, 255, 265, 265. I mean, big guys. And most of them are upperclassmen. In fact, all but one starter is a senior. So they've been together for a while, and I think that cohesion certainly shows with these two guys in the backfield. There's a pass and a beautiful completion right there. It's a number 2. That's the Heidenreich, actually. Out of the backfield. He can do it in a lot of different ways. Catching passes, he could run the Wildcat, he could run. Well, and a nice throw by Joey Daniels.
Yeah, and it starts up front, though. Look at the protection. He's got all day to throw the ball. He stands tall in the pocket. Heidenreich does a good job of getting downfield, gets into the soft spot. He doesn't run through it and cover himself back up. Sits down. Daniels finds him, and they get across midfield for the first down.
And that's 16 yards on that first down throw. Daniels now rolling to his right. Pursued, throws, Texa, and nice tackle there to the outside. And it's Malachi, Missouri, who wraps him up. But still, just a couple of yards there. And again, it takes an open field tackle. And if you miss him, all of a sudden there's more yardage down there. So, and these guys are tough to tackle in the open field.
Tough to tackle in space. They're elusive. They're strong. They're physical whenever they've got to be, and they got speed. And just a simple play like that, you get the ball, flip it out to him in the flat. He picks up a solid, 3-4 yards. Positive play. And we've said Malachi Missouri's name a lot tonight. We've seen him off the edge. He's now in coverage against Texas. He's been all over the field.
Nice blitz pick up there by Texas. And Daniels can't get away from that, though. He picked him up, but there's too much pressure, and that goes for nothing. Younger was there. One of the guys in the backfield made a nice play. But right off the bat, it looked like the blitz was picked up, and here they came. More than just one guy, and there's no room for Daniels.
Yeah, that was one of those. That's what they've been trying to do. I've seen them a lot. They were trying to run that A-gap blitz. And, it just makes some havoc in the backfield. And that's exactly what they did right there. And they're able to come away with a sack.
And you think number 16 with Anthony Speck in there, he's trying to knock that ball away as he could. And we have a sideline warning now on a late flag that came in.
Yeah, J.D. Younger's he was the guy that blitzed. He's coming full tilt and makes that play in the backfield. He's the one that's being helped off the field right now, too.
Yeah, he got injured on that play. And again, they were trying to strip that ball, doing anything at this point to try to get that ball loose. Late in the first half, down by 14. They need something to happen here, and turnover would be something that they could utilize to their advantage.
Yeah, right now they're just trying to get out of this half only down 14. I mean, 1:03 to go. You don't want to give up any more points, especially with that possession they're going to get in the second half to start with. Can't afford to get any more further behind.
So we had one more second there.
And those seconds matter.
In this game, yes.
It matters.
You want to take advantage of every second you have, especially if you're Central and you're down. If you can get the ball back here, you never know what can happen. It's 3rd and 12. Daniels looks to the sideline once again. 2 receivers over there, Brendan Anderson and Michael Beersdorf. Daniels throws. Has a man in the middle of the seam again, and it's a beautiful throw. And that one is to Jack Smith. He plays linebacker on defense, and he is a tight end, and he's involved in their offense. A gain of 24 yards. A beautiful throw there by Daniels.
Yeah, same play as before. They just use Smith to go down the seam right there, and Daniels does a good job of finding him, delivers a good football, and they pick up the first down again. Daniels, I was just thinking about this. They hadn't been throwing the ball much. Now all of a sudden they're starting to loosen up that defense a little bit with right down the middle of the field.
Well, if you know what Centrals are coming after them, they're trying to get in the backfield as soon as they can to stop those 2 outstanding running backs. And now, as we said, Daniels has 22 touchdown passes, so they've been utilizing him. And that was a good throw, Chris, because there were 4 defenders right there. He had to put it in really small window, but he did.
Small window, deliver the football. His guy makes a play for him, and now almost inside the red zone here with 39 seconds to go.
And so Mount Lebanon converts, moving, still with time left, 39 seconds in this first half. And boy, if they get a score here, it would look tremendous for them because they do get the ball in the second half. And Central Catholic has not done anything since that first drive.
Yeah, you don't want this is a really crucial time in this game for Central Catholic because one more score, this game could get away from them. They're not built to throw the ball and quick strikes. They have guys that can, certainly score quickly, but they haven't shown that ability because of the Mount Lebanon defense. So, 3 scores will be tough.
All right, just a reminder to be sure to stick around for the First National Bank halftime show. Rich Walsh will provide the remarkable job Bob Palco has done at Mount Lebanon. We're also going to preview next week's WPIAL championship games at Heinz Field, and we're going to go behind the scenes of a recent Steeler game with some sights and sounds. It's all coming up on the First National Bank halftime report, and we got a full slate of games coming at you next weekend. 2 on Friday, 3 on Saturday from Heinz Field. And we'll talk about some of those matchups as we go along. Meantime, 1st and 10 for Daniels, who just made a nice completion to Smith. Throws, and he essentially throws it away to stop the clock. Aliquippa's involved in one of those games, Chris, and you know their program. It doesn't matter. They really, enrollment-wise, should be at like a 1A school. They're playing at 4A, and they've been to the finals 14 straight years. It's pretty remarkable.
It's remarkable, and then, obviously, I didn't go to the game last night, but I read in the paper that they have a freshman running back. And it's just like, really? They have a freshman running back who's really good. It's surprising at Aliquippa because everyone that runs the football at Aliquippa is really good, and they got a freshman this year, and that's a really interesting matchup next week with them and Bell Vernon.
Really should be. One of 5 games over the weekend. And now it's Daniels rolling to the right, looking back left, throwing into the end zone, has a man wide open, and it's Alex Texa. Who else? He's been all over the place. That's a 23-yard touchdown connection to Texa, his 3rd touchdown of this game. And Mount Lebanon now, after trailing 7-0, about to go up by 3 scores.
What a great play call. They run play action there, and they roll Daniels to the right. Texa, after the fake, just runs a wheel route down the sideline. No one covers him. Daniels with a perfect throw. Texa with the catch. They tack on another score before the half. Great call by the offensive coordinator for Mount Lebanon. And great execution by these kids.
I don't know how you lose a guy like Texa, but he did. He was alone and did the wheel route. 12 plays, 74 yards, occupying about 4 minutes and 24 seconds. And just like that, it's 28-7. And the people from Mount Lebanon are getting their money's worth, no doubt. Alex Texa with 3 touchdowns in this first half, and they've come a variety of ways.
And that's eye discipline. You know, I mean, you've got guys who are assigned to cover him in man coverage, so they see the fake, and now their eyes go back to where the football is. And for that split second, a guy with that type of speed, once he gets a little beyond you, they can't make that recovery, and they get into the end zone.
23 yards there. He had a 2-yard score prior to that. I mean, he's been doing it all. A 59-yard touchdown run before that touchdown. And you see the scoring drive there, the hat trick there. 3 touchdowns on the night for Alex Texa. And, you know, his backfield mate over there, too, Eli Heidenreich, he's another guy who's been involved in the pass game down the field, made 1 reception. He's been running the ball strong. It's a very difficult offense to try to contain. As Central Catholic, that's their assignment now, but they'd like to come up with some big play here before this half ends.
We talked, one of the keys to the game for Mount Lebanon was offensive efficiency. Last week, 1 offensive touchdown. They scored 28 points, but they came in a variety of different ways. Tonight, they have been on point offensively, and execution has been outstanding.
A little squib kick right there, and it's going to be taken and muffed and recovered by Carruthers. As Central Catholic now tries to get something going here before you get to 0-0-0 on the clock, but with only that much time left and the length of the field essentially to go at the 25-yard line, that's an awful lot to hope for. But they have to regroup and come up with something in the second half, most notably stopping this Mount Lebanon offense. Not an easy assignment.
Not an easy assignment with the playmakers they have, and right now they're going to have to regroup at halftime. And the game's not over by any stretch of the imagination. 21 points, so they can certainly come back, but they've got to regroup and make some adjustments.
Terry Totten has been involved in a lot of these games, so he knows how to do that with the adjustment game. And this is the dump off, goes to Carruthers, and he gets across the 40 to the 43-yard line. And they're looking for a flag there at the end of that. That's a 19-yard pickup here with 10 seconds left in the first half.
Not a bad play there for Central Catholic to get him out towards the 44-yard line. And
now a flag comes flying. Bottom of your screen there.
Well, coaches were upset about something
there
at the end of that play.
Yeah,
they wanted a flag called, I think, on Carruthers. And here's what's going to happen is they're going to end up calling.
They're
going to call a flag on.
We have an unsportsmanlike on the coach, 15 yards, first down.
Well, you know, it's interesting because now I think I heard this, like, adhere to here. You're not allowed to hurdle in high school.
Right, they had one of those calls earlier in this game, I think.
And I don't know if that's
season when they met for the
I
very
don't know
first
if they
time.
were talking about that, or, the hurdle, or if there was something else after the play. But here you go, you get one play, you get up to the 45-yard line. Now you get a 15-yard penalty. Now you're inside in Mount Lebanon territory here, just outside the 40-yard line. You got 16 seconds to go. Now you're thinking, man, we got to try to get some points on the board before the half, and just steal a little bit of momentum, just a little bit of momentum going into the half.
That could be critical, that penalty, depending on what happens here. But it looked like the Mount Lebanon wanted a call on Carruthers.
Yeah, I don't know what it was for, though.
I don't either, but Bob Palco was very animated. Let's just put it that way, and didn't stop until he got a flag called against him.
Yeah. We'll see how it plays out. If that penalty does hurt them, and allows them to put some points on the board.
But you got to like the enthusiasm and the passion that Bob Palco brings to the.
You're up 21 points, and you're coaching as hard as you were if you were 0-0, right?
And he believes in this defense, which has done a good job all season long. 1st and 10, and they're going to go for a home run ball, but this is going to be overthrown into the end zone. It was intended for Vernon Settles.
Yeah, and I think Wayner, he wanted to get the ball. He wanted to get rid of the ball. I think he could feel the pressure coming. They brought a blitz off the edge right there, and I think he threw that ball a little quicker than he wanted to, but lucky for him that it fell incomplete because there was a safety that was deep back there was trying to track that ball down.
Wayner this time slings it out. No, and has a man and he drops it right there. Had some potential yardage for Peter Gonzalez, and he was looking down the field before he actually had possession of the ball, and that was a nice design. It was set up for some blockers too.
Perfect play call. They were going to run the wide receiver screen. You could see the blockers out in front. All he has to do is make that catch, and he's got 3 guys out in front of him. That was a potential right there for a big play, but it's just going to fall incomplete.
And could have used the sideline, gained some yardage, set up one more play. As it is, they have 7 seconds left. Trying to get anything out of this on a 3rd and 10 play now from the 41-yard line. And it's Wayner up the middle. He's going nowhere, and that's a sandwich, and that is going to take us to the half. Jack Smith was involved with that. Mount Lebanon very animated as they leave the field, and they should be. They trailed in this game 7-0, but they've come back strong with 4 touchdowns, 3 of them by Texa, their outstanding running back, and all of a sudden now Central Catholic's got a lot of work to do in the second half and a lot of adjusting to do.
Yeah, well, I think you said it. That was a strong half of football by Mount Lebanon, there offensively and defensively.
Rich Walsh is standing by with Bob Pelko right now. Rich?
Coach, how important was it to get that touchdown right before the end of the half, because you're getting the ball back second half?
Well, I mean, any points we can put on the board right now is big for us, but it's finally settled down. Defense got the butterflies out, I guess, but they're a good football team, and we've got to go make some adjustments and continue to do what we do.
Seems like the execution is there. You have to be pretty happy with that. Did you have a good week of practice this week heading into this game?
Oh yeah, we had kids they were dialed in. It was good. It was really good. But we're just making some stupid penalties. Mental mistakes. But it was still a really good week of practice. Yeah, it was good.
See you in the second half.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Back to you guys.
All right, Rich. Coaches are never happy. You're up by 21 and stupid mistakes.
Well, they're always going to find it.
This
right?
is the main man, Alex Texa, 59-yard touchdown. He's had a big day, 3 touchdowns on this game, 28-7. We have the First National Bank halftime show coming up next right here on Pittsburgh CW.
Welcome to the First National Bank Championship halftime show.
All right, welcome back to Norwin for our First National Bank halftime show. And right now, Mount Lebanon up big, 21 points over Central Catholic, 28-7. Alex Texa, big star right now for the Blue Devils. Good evening, I'm Rich Walsh. As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, that we talked a little bit about, these two teams have very different histories in the WPIAL Championship in recent years. Central seems to be here every single year. That's not really the case for Mount Lebanon until one guy took over. After winning 8 WPIAL championships in 24 years at West Allegheny High School, Bob Pelko decided to retire from West A in 2018. But that retirement only lasted 3 months before Pelko accepted the head job at Mount Lebanon. In just his 3rd season, he has Lebo in contention for its first WPIAL title in 2 decades.
There's always been really good people here. It's just, just not used to maybe coaching how I wanted to coach or do things the way I wanted to do them, and then develop that team first mentality.
Changing the mentality has been the biggest part of what every new head coach wants to build, a culture of winning.
I don't know if I, think it's just about culture. I think, do you care about kids? I mean, to me, we're here to teach life lessons.
One of those life lessons Pelko talks about is focusing on team over self, and his players have bought in.
I mean, before Coach Pelko came, everyone was much more worried about themselves, like, what am I going to do? Am I going to get my stats? Am I going to get mine? But now everyone's like, we want to win, we want to get ours as a team, and we want to play together.
He's changed everything, just the way we treat other people, the way we treat our teammates, and the biggest thing is he's taught us how to play for each other.
Just a brotherhood. Like these guys are my best friends. As much time as we spend here, I don't ever want to leave at night.
The seniors on the team haven't just been impressed with Coach Pelko's words, they've also paid attention to his actions.
Seeing the way he operates and handles himself every day, you don't question why he's won all the championships he has. He's truly passionate about it, what he does, and he wants the best for you, and he wants he wants to win.
And regardless what happens in the WPIAL title game this year, Pelko says he's focused on building Lebo into a perennial contender.
We're trying to, be in program mode, build a program, not just, have one good year. And I think that's the thing that these kids have really bought into.
All right, right now, Pelko's team is up 28-7. One of the reasons is this kid, Alex Texka, he had a 59-yard run, and then this reception to give them a 21-point lead at the half, and right now it's 28-7, Mount Lebanon. Tonight's game, of course, is the 6A WPIAL Finals, but the other 5 classes held their semifinals last night. Let's take a look at the Carlow University scoreboard from last night, and these scores are from last night, and tell you who made it to Heinz Field next weekend. Starting in 1A, where it was Upset City, 9th-seeded Our Lady of Sacred Heart beat Rochester by a point, and they will face Bishop Canevin, who beat Cornell 24-7. The single A final is next Friday at 2 o'clock at Heinz Field. Moving to Double A, Beaver Falls topped the depleted Steel Valley team 21-8. Sarah Catholic Stunstow Rocks 13-12. So the Double A final will be Beaver Falls against Sarah next Friday at 5. As for the 3A class, as expected, top-seeded Central Valley won big, 51-0 over Elizabeth Ford. The other 3A semifinal, much closer. North Catholic shut out Avonworth 7-0, so the Trojans will face a very good Central Valley team in the 3A final next Saturday afternoon at Heinz. That will be the first of 3 games aired right here on the Pittsburgh CW. Up at 4A, Bell Vernon beat Thomas Jefferson for the second time this year, 21-7. And on the other side of the bracket was the game of the night. Aliquippa and McKeesport went to double OT, and the Quips threw a TD pass to top the Tigers 27-21. That 4A championship will be next Saturday at 3 o'clock. And finally, in the 5A class, it was the Moon Tigers won a slugfest with my alma mater, Penn Hills, 14-9. They will face a very good Penn Trafford team who beat Pine Richland 24-6 next Saturday at Heinz Field. The 5A game will be the third and final WPIAL championship you'll be able to check out right here on Pittsburgh CW. Much like the game you're watching here tonight, our high school football broadcasts certainly are a team effort, and it takes key people, key members of this team to put this all together, and key sponsors like First National Bank.
Hello, I'm Ron Donatelli, President of the Pittsburgh region for First National Bank. On behalf of the bank and our parent company, FMB Corporation, we are proud to be the official bank sponsor of the WPIAL. We appreciate what the WPIAL does for student athletes across Western Pennsylvania, and we share their commitment to putting our region's children on a path toward success in school, in our communities, and in life. One way we work to do that at FMB is through our efforts of financial literacy, making financial education available to anyone who wants to better understand personal finances and offering programming that prepares children for a more successful life after graduation. By connecting with students through partnerships like our relationship with the WPIAL, we're working to help young people better understand how to manage their finances, avoid pitfalls that come with poor financial decisions, and plan for a bright financial future. The more informed we are about personal finance, the more successful will be as they work to earn and save money, use credit and debt wisely, and invest throughout their careers and into retirement. At FMB, we put financial education front and center because we understand the benefits for individuals and the greater community. Our employees regularly provide education in our communities through various volunteer efforts and hands-on engagement with local organizations. On our website, we offer free resources to learn about everything from balancing checking account to managing a credit card, paying for college, buying a house, and saving for retirement. We want our neighbors throughout our footprint to have access to knowledge and tools that give them the best opportunity to achieve their financial goals. We are honored to partner with the WPIAL in an effort to help students win on the field and in life.
Welcome back to the First National Bank Championship Halftime Show.
Welcome back to Norwin High School, and big first half by Mount Lebanon, 28 points, and they're up 21 against Central Catholic right now. 28-7 is your halftime score. And, you know, much like here in the WPIAL, rivals run deep in the NFL. Steelers and Browns was a big rivalry a long time ago. Not so much for so many years. It went dormant, but now it's back again. And with the help of the Steelers Media Productions, we take you inside with some sights and sounds from the Steelers and Browns.
Steelers deferring at the top. And that means Baker Mayfield and the Browns will have first possession. They're going to give it to Chubb. Breaks to the outside, back around Highsmith, and he's able to pull off a good run.
An ailing Baker Mayfield had the Browns moving on their opening possession.
Pulled in by the tight end, first down at the Pittsburgh 22. Pass is complete, and that's to the tight end, Austin Hooper. He's back. He pumps. He's going to be hit and dropped for a sack. Cameron Hayward there along with T.J. Watt. It was like sticking a leg of lamb in a tank of piranha. They were after him that bad.
The sack halted Cleveland's march, but it would take more splash by the defense to stop the Browns on their following possession.
Chubb is shut down. He didn't even get back to the line. And the Steelers able to make the stop and take it away on downs. That was T.J. Watt making another play.
It's all about responding now, Billy. You got to make sure you respond. A nice job by Chase Claypool to pull that in on the comeback. Oh, yes. There you go. They try to tie the game from the right hash. The kick is on its way. That kick is up, and we have a tie game. Chubb finds a hole off the left side, up over the 30, crosses the 35, and gets to about, well, the 35-yard line.
Moving the ball with ease on their way to recapture the lead.
Tight end pulls it in. That is Bryant down the field inside the 30, inside the 25, knocked out of bounds. A little read option, turning it back and getting to the 10, the 5, and into the end zone for the touchdown is Dearness Johnson on a great cutback. Starting to his left, saw a lane, went north and south, and scores from 10 yards out. First touchdown of the game.
We got to work to stay clean and stay in the fight. Nobody blink. I promise you I won't. And don't you either.
And blink they would not.
Hands it off. Through the hole comes Najee. End zone. Touchdown. He leaps across the goal line, and the Steelers are in position to tie it up. Oh, yeah. What a play. What a great counter trap. You have the trap. You got people on the backside blocking people, but Najee takes that ball, and he just airmails it into the end zone. Oh, sweet Marie, what a run that was by Najee.
The Steelers' youth wasn't finished introducing themselves to this rivalry.
That's Najee, stiff arm up over the 40 to 45, and he gets across midfield. And the Browns are saying, who is this dynamo? Lean on him! Let's go! Claypool with a quick out to the right, then he fights people off, and he's down inside the 5, and a first and goal at the 2-yard line. Come on, Chase! There you go, Chase! There you go! Oh, you got fighting going on here, Billy. Not duking, but professional football going on right now, man. Steelers have to go for it. 4th and goal at the 2. Here's the snap. He pumps. He fires for the end zone, and it's juggled in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh! Pat Freiermuth, the Penn State rookie, pulled it in on a combat catch. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, was that a sweet play? He had the catch, he had the feet. That's all you need.
The rookies made their presence felt, but it was a familiar face that would break the back of his former team.
Fakes. Dumps it off over the middle. The pass complete to Landry. First down at the Pittsburgh 20. The ball came out, and the Steelers say they have it. The ball came out. Was it Schobert that stripped the ball?
Oh, my goodness. Schobert, the former Brown, broke it up. And who else but T.J. Watt has the football in his hands. In 3 years since Jarvis Landry last lost a fumble.
Joe. Oh, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd it work? Where'd it work? Oh, yeah.
Real bloody, too. Yeah. Look at him, T-ball bloody.
Ben gets the snap. Fakes. Over the middle. Here's Deontay Johnson up the field. 45-50, 45-40. Tackled near the 20-yard line. That was absolutely the nail in the coffin. we lost to the Raiders and lost to the Bengals, and people are ready to bury this club.
Being able to finish a game off like this, I can tell you, it's a great time.
The Steelers upset the Browns in Cleveland 15-10 and go to 4-3.
Wow, what a tremendous game. Sir, Steeler Nation. What's up? What's up? Steeler Nation.
And great stuff by Steelers TV and a great game by the Steelers against the Browns. And you can check out more stories like this on all Steelers media platforms. Right now here at Norwin, Mount Lebanon up 21 over Central, 28-7. That'll do it for our First National Bank halftime show. I'm Rich Walsh. Stay right there. Coming up next, Bob and Chris have the first half highlights and second half kickoff, and I'll see you after the game.
And we're back at Norwin High School Stadium for the 6A championship game. I want to remind you that the champions on Pittsburgh CW are brought to you by CCAC, now enrolling for January 2022. CCAC, also by Remax Select Realty. Find your home. And powered by Dunkin', the official coffee and donuts of the WPIAL. The WPIAL runs on Dunkin'. All right, so if you just tuned in, what you see is a score that didn't start this way. It was 7-0 Central Catholic. They got the opening kickoff. They won the toss. They took it, and they went right down the field. A nice kickoff return by Pitts. That's up. Gannon Carruthers on a touchdown. But after that, Chris, man, it's been all Mount Lebanon in every facet. We're going to take a look at some of the highlights. This is the start we're talking about with Carruthers.
Yeah, Carruthers just a quick zone read, gets in the end zone there on the first drive.
And you thought, well, Central Catholic's going to have one heck of a night until Alex Texa got involved. That's the first of 3 touchdowns. And then a pass here by Daniels to Anderson. And that is Brendan Anderson with the score to make it 14-7. And this run right here really epitomized the first half.
Yeah, they've been able to get to the edge. Texa, you see his speed right there for his second touchdown of the night.
And then the wheel route. Everybody forgot about number 5. I don't know how you can do that. They got lured into that flow to the right. He went back to the left, and then all of a sudden 23 yards later, that's a touchdown, part of his big day. And then Mount Lebanon's defense really did a good job, especially on 4th down here to stop Carruthers. So bottom line is defense, when you have a lead, makes it really tough on the opponent. So Central Catholic has a lot of adjusting to do here in the second half, and it gets worse for them because Mount Lebanon will get the ball first. So let's take a look at the first half stats here, and basically domination after that first score.
Wow, I mean, it really is. I mean, Mount Lebanon just totally outclassed Central Catholic in the yardage department. Penalties, not really relevant at this point offensively, though. Mount Lebanon has been outstanding, but tip to their defense, too.
All right, Rich Walsh is standing by now with Terry Totten of Central Catholic. Rich?
Terry, 28 points unanswered. What do you guys got to do in the second half to get back in this one?
We need an early stop, and we got to get something up on the board. We got to gap up and tackle, and we got to put points on the board.
Thanks a lot, Terry. Good luck in the second half. All right, guys, back to you.
All right, well, it also means you got to stop what they've done in the backfield, led by Alex Texa, who, Chris, has 13 rushes for 155 yards, 2 scores. He also has caught 2 for 42, 1 a 23-yard touchdown reception. So he, along with Eli Heidenreich, have made it very difficult on that Vikings team.
Yeah, it really has been. I mean, and when you got 2 guys, you can get the ball in their hands, and they can make plays, special plays, as we saw in the first half. It's just difficult for the defense to kind of key in, but they got to try to take one of them away. And the first thing they got to do on defense, they got to set the edge. They cannot allow Texa and Heidenreich to get to the edge and get out in space to make those long runs that they've been making here in the first half.
So still a half of football left, but the bottom line is they got to be very efficient, and they have to come right out and get the ball back as soon as you can. If you're Bob Palko, what do you do? Knowing that you have a lead, knowing that you want to use clock as much as you can, but do you become a little bit too conservative, or do you go after it just the way you did in the first half?
Right now, I mean, you're going after it the way you did in the first half. 21 points is not it's not insurmountable for a team to come back from. Especially, you heard Coach Totten say, if we can get a stop on defense, create a turnover, a short field, whatever it may be, get themselves back in this game. Now, if you're Mount Lebanon, let's put the hammer down. Let's go out. Let's score early. Let's establish ourselves here in the second half. We built this lead. Let's add to it. And then and let your defense take care of the rest. And we'll see how it unfolds here in the second half.
Bob Palko, we talked about just his 3rd year as Mount Lebanon's head coach, and He already has this team back in the finals for the first time in 21 years. They are ranked #1 coming into this game. He retired from West Allegheny after 2018, but he stayed retired for just 3 months. So I guess he didn't like retirement, Chris Schneider. So he decided, I can't take this retirement. You know, you often wonder about that. What are you going to do when you're a type A personality like he is, and like a lot of these coaches are? All of a sudden, you just can't stay away. So he got an opportunity at Mount Lebanon, and he's added to what has been a remarkable resume.
Amazing. I mean, he's a competitive juice that flows through these guys as a player and a coach. I mean, they have it. They want to win. They enjoy being around the kids. They enjoy impacting the way that they do with these kids. I mean, so you're looking at him right now. I mean, he's about to tie. If he wins his game, he will tie Bill Churpak for the most titles in the WPIAL. And we know that Thomas Jefferson, they lost last night in their semifinal game, so they'd be tied if he pulls this one out here tonight.
Yeah, so each with 9, and he would have 8 in one, and then 1 at another program. That's hard to do. Not many coaches have been able to do that, but you see it right now. So Palco would move up with Bill Churpak, whose team lost last night, but what a resume he has as well. And that would be, with 2 different schools, it's pretty impressive to do that.
Well, and it makes you realize too how much coaching really has an effect on the game. Yeah, you got to have players, don't get me wrong, but there's players in every school. It's a matter of what can the coach do to get it out of the players, and obviously he's doing it here at Mount Lebanon because he did it at West Allegheny.
No question about that. Overall, 22-8 at Mount Lebanon in those 3 years. And the first year was a tough one. Had to get a lot of guys to, commit to the program, to commit to what he was trying to do. And then essentially you're recruiting your own student body, people that and try to come out and play football. We think you got talent. And he's done that. If you noticed on that graphic we said 5 others tied with 6 apiece, and one of those is Terry Totten.
Yeah,
so if he should come back and win, he would move into that top 3, tied for 3rd at 7. And don't think he can't do it because he's been in deficits before and he's been able to come back, but it's going to take a Herculean effort at this point.
Yeah, it starts with this opening possession. They have to get a quick 3 and out, and they got to find a way to put points on the board. They got to get back to what they did on that opening drive. They had it going, and then it kind of went away there in after that first drive. But that's also a credit to the Mount Lebanon defense. They've played tough at the line of scrimmage. They've been getting in the backfield. They've been disruptive, and they've been making plays. So there's a combination of a lot of things that have to happen. But we'll see how it unfolds here pretty shortly.
You mentioned their defense. Jack Smith, number 7, has been very active for them. Charlie Pellegrino has done that. Daniel King is a senior member of the Mount Lebanon defense, and he has a family tradition because both his father and his uncle have won WPIAL championships at Mount Lebanon. So he'd like to join the family tree there in terms of winning a championship, and he's 1 half away from doing that. Yeah. So we'll see what happens here. But Bob Palco feels pretty good about his team, but he knows there's still a lot of work yet to be done.
No question about it. And it starts here pretty shortly. But, yeah, keep that same intensity. These guys are locked in. You can see Coach Palco right there. He's locked in. Still got a half of football to go, and he knows it's not over. And it's about keeping his guys focused, He got the buy-in initially from his players for the last 3 years, and now this is all the culmination of all that hard work and everything they've put forth. And now it's about finishing. You got 24 minutes to finish the job.
And right now that job is 28-7. It's a nice position to be in if you're him. For Terry Totten, they've got to overcome this first possession by Mount Lebanon, try to get the ball and get something going. But they have the weaponry to do it. There's no question about that. We've spoken highly about Gannon Carruthers. Antonio Pitts is a guy who can make things happen, and Peyton Wayner is getting better each and every year he goes through that. So we'll start the second half with Heidenreich and Texa. Who else back deep to receive this? And if you're Mount Lebanon, or if you're Central, you may not want to kick it in their direction either.
Yeah, that's the first thing I'm looking at. I'm staring down there going, geez, I got to kick it to one of these 2 guys. Let's keep it away from them.
Matt Shear, just a little squibbler, and it does go to one of the men who takes a knee at the 25-yard line. And so that's where Mount Lebanon will get the ball to start here in the 3rd quarter after really dominating that first half. Right after the first possession, it was all Mount Lebanon in every way.
It was, and it'll be interesting to see, what this defense, what adjustments were made for this defense for Central Catholic to try to create some stops. What did their defensive staff come up with? And we'll see here in a little bit. But they've got to find a way to set the edge defense. They cannot allow these guys to get to the edge.
And that's been the big problem right now. When they do get to the edge, they get some big runs. And Texa was the man who got most of them to the outside. He is the ball carrier right now, and right off the bat, a nice stop behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to be a loss of 1 yard.
Yeah, that's Heinisch right there. Does a good job. He gets penetration into the backfield, disengages, and makes the tackle right down the line of scrimmage.
Donovan Heinisch, brother at Notre Dame, he's headed there too. The big guy, when he falls on you, you know it at 6'2", 275. And so that's a nice play to start. If you're looking for just something momentum-wise, you'd like to get a 3-and-out here quickly if you are Central Catholic. Joey Daniels at quarterback again. He hands off to Texa again, who gets to the outside, now cuts back inside. Head down, driving and getting close to first down yardage. And with the second effort, he might have gotten there. That's Anthony Speck, who came up late in that play, but what a really good run once again by Alex Texa. And he just put his head down and got some extra yards when none appeared to be available. But we have a flag.
You know, I've been saying set the edge, and I'd tell you the one thing that you don't account for is how fast these guys can get to the edge. Texa and Hyde right.
Personal foul on the defense. 15 yards, first down.
And it's on Anthony Specca. Let's take a look at this, number 16.
Get him wrapped up right there. It's like he's trying to rip
the ball out.
Yeah.
And I think he just got a little too aggressive with that. Although I don't know if I'd call that in that situation, given.
I don't know. I do not like that call. I can just tell you that right there.
I don't like it either. I mean, he's trying to.
He's trying to take the ball.
TJ Watt for the Steelers got hit with a fine because he's trying to punch the ball, but that's a routine thing that he does. So he's trying to get a ball loose. I understand that.
Yeah.
This time, nothing there for Texas. You lose another yard with a late hit, and they're going to throw a flag on that one as well. And that looks like it's going to be called against the defense, obviously. And T.J. Younger, or J.D. Younger, was the guy over there who committed that foul. At least that's what it looked like up here.
Personal foul on the defense. 15 yards, first down.
That's back-to-back 30 yards of real estate they've just given up.
Yeah, Rodison Waddell does a good job. Hey, listen, you got the guy locked up. You're running him right down the line of scrimmage. You run him out of bounds. You got to be aware of where you're at on the field. You get 3-4 yards outside. You cannot take that extra shove out of bounds. So now here you go, 30-yard penalties.
Yeah, the first one I didn't like. That one was unnecessary.
Yeah.
As once again they deploy Heidenreich and Texa in the backfield. And Mount Lebanon looking for somewhat of an early third quarter dagger here if they can get one. Heidenreich turns it. Gets across the 30 to the 28-yard line. Liam Kiernan was there along with Waddell. He runs the Wildcat when he's in there too.
Good job. They run a little zone read right there. Heidenreich keeps it and just feels his way to the right side of the field there for a solid pickup. And right now, if you're Central Catholic, you got to get composed. You got to get your composure back. You got to focus in on the job at hand and fill your assignments. Almost got him to jump right there.
And right now you can tell Central's anxious. Somebody wants to make a play. When you do that, you get a little bit too exuberant, and maybe that explains the last two penalties as well. But they're critical ones when you have a team, and the series started a good way for Central Catholic. Now it's Daniels looking into the end zone, has a man back there, and it is going to be a touchdown. A flag flies. Eli Heidenreich. He was on the receiving end of a pass in the first half, and that's a touchdown right off the bat. A big drive, 28 yards on the score. They were going to call pass interference against the defense, it looked like. But Heidenreich is going to score here, and boy, what a nice throw again by Joey Daniels. We don't talk enough about his throwing, but he's very accurate, 64% completion rate on the season.
Beautiful throw, and anytime you got a guy like Heidenreich on the outside who you trust to make the play, that penalty is going to be declined. His 15th touchdown reception on the year. Tremendous job. One-on-one on the outside, you like your chances with Heidenreich, and he goes up and makes a play for his quarterback.
So he has 37 catches on the season now. 15 have gone for touchdowns, and he's close to 900 yards in addition to what he does on the ground. So, again, these two guys back-to-back, and that kick is not good. I don't know if somebody got a hand on it or not. But it's one silver lining, I suppose, of an otherwise dull game so far for Central Catholic. And here's that throw again, right on the money.
Yeah, it was right on the money. Daniels does a good job of just throwing it to letting his player make a play on the ball. Sometimes, when you get one-on-one coverage out there, some guys can't keep the ball in bounds. They overthrow the guy, but here you give your guy the chance to make the play, and he does that for them. And Heidenreich, what a weapon he is. Texa, what a weapon he is. Daniels, 1,300 yards, 19 touchdowns. He's adding to that total here tonight. Only 6 interceptions. playing a really good football game, really balanced attack for these guys.
Yeah, you know, they have a lot of seniors on this Mount Lebanon team, and Central, on the other hand, has a lot of underclassmen, and maybe that's a part of this as well. 5 plays, 75 yards, 156, didn't take long, but again, 30 yards of that in penalties, 28-yard hookup there from Daniels to Heidenreich, and those penalties are killers. And again, I don't know that the first one needed to be called, but you can't afford to take them, especially when you're down this big.
Yeah, you cannot assist the team, you know, with 30 yards in penalties that, you know, is having their way with you offensively. You needed to come out and get a stop. You needed to be disciplined. You needed to do the things the right way to get the ball back for your offense. And then you give them you give them free 30 yards, and a team like this is going to make you pay. And, you know, right now, Central Catholic, we'll see what they have left in the tank. We'll see what they have left.
Well, they have to leave it all on the field here. There's no doubt at this point. And by the way, we talked a lot about those two guys in the backfield. What about Joey Daniels? 11 for 13 on this game, 139 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he's a little bit under the radar, but boy, he's come up with some big plays.
Really under the radar when you start to talk about those statistics, as he said, but play design has been great. They've executed perfectly, and he's thrown the ball accurately all night.
Yeah, and last week, I don't think he played in the second half, had a little bit of an injury situation, but he's come back beautifully here tonight. If you are Mount Lebanon, he's been on point with his passes, 11 of 13, 139. So now it's up to Terry Todd and his offense to get to work here, and they got a big assignment against this Mount Lebanon defense. We haven't talked enough about them, but they were really good, especially 3rd and short, 4th and short. They had opportunities to get off the field, and they did.
They did. They had a couple big plays by their defense. You know, like as you said, to get off the field, they've been just stout all night. They've kind of held Carruthers in check for the majority of the game so far there, especially in that first half.
All right, so it's Peyton Wayner being pursued, and he's going to be caught from behind, and that's going to be a big loss right there. Tommy Boner, and he was there to make that play, and I don't know how many yards that is, but it's a big negative play on their first possession in the second half. We'll call it 12.
And that's what you call discipline right there. You know your assignment for Boehner right there. He's the outside linebacker. He keeps outside leverage. He does not allow the quarterback to get outside him, and he makes the tackle for loss.
You see that this season, Tommy Boehner's been very active when it comes for TFLs, tackle for losses, and sacks. Another guy, and now it's difficult because if you're Central, you're deep in your own territory. You got to try something, and Mount Lebanon knows it, so they may be, you know, going after things here.
Yeah, smelling blood in the water right now.
Wayner on the slant pattern, well covered. That was intended for Peter Gonzalez. Goes incomplete. Sets up 3rd down.
Yeah, you're packed up, man. And now you got to taking chances. You know, you got to get a quick slant right there. Unable to connect with Peter Gonzalez on the outside. Peter Gonzalez is a big target too on the outside at 6'2". Haven't had the connection that they would like tonight. Now you're really up against. You're deep in your own territory. A long 3rd down.
Wayner fires and has his man. That's a good catch by the slot man, Brandon Jackson, and he gets first down yardage and a big play for a team that needed one right there. And we got...
That's going to bring up a 4th down.
4th down, actually short, yeah. I thought he was... My bad. Short. I saw a stick in the far part of the screen, and I thought it was the first down stick. So it is short. 4th and 21.
Yeah, you'll give up the underneath stuff a little bit there. They get some yards back, but they'll make the tackle. And should come away now, Mount Lebanon. They get a stop after the big play on 1st down, the sack of Peyton Wayner. And they're going to get some good field position here for their 2nd possession.
Yeah, if anything, in those 15 yards, gave them a little bit of breathing room to get this kick off. And it's going to be a returnable kick right there. And who else? Heidenreich cutting to the outside now, across the 40, the 30. High hurdles. Boy, I tell you something, that guy, that entire backfield on a 33-yard return, those two guys are dynamic. We're going to take a break. Mount Lebanon has the ball again after stopping Central Catholic. We'll come back with more. 34-7, Lebo has the lead. Hey, by now, everyone in Western Pennsylvania knows Bob Palko for his coaching, but very few know he was a standout college quarterback. That's right, Palko ventured all the way out to play Montana Tech. Yes, you heard that right, Montana Tech. It was an NAIA program. He started 4 years for the Ore Diggers. Did you know that? They were called the Ore Diggers from 1978 through 1981. So Montana Tech was the place he went. And I think at first he thought it was some sort of, tech school where he was going to do something engineering-wise, and it wasn't that at all. He went out there and did a good job, and then that career began after that. He and Terry Totten together at IUP and other stops before they've enjoyed this rivalry, I think, every time they get together. As much as they want to win, they respect it, they understand how it goes. Here's Alex Texa again. Texa going for his 4th touchdown, the 10, the 5, and he's got it. Beautiful blocking right there. I don't know if he got touched at all. He went straight to the end zone, and his 4th touchdown of this game, and what a run it was.
Look at a good job. Look at the hole right there on the outside, and he just presses that hole. No one's going to catch him. I'll tell you, the thing that's probably the most underrated thing that I didn't realize coming into this game was the speed of Texa and Heidenreich. Both of them game-breaking speed, and it's on display here tonight.
So he now has 189 yards rushing after that touchdown run. And we talked a lot about Charlie Pellegrino blocking earlier in the first half. He made a nice block there as well. So these guys are all doing it together as a unit.
Team effort. You got to have everybody on the same page. And I think you heard Coach Palco say they had a good week of practice this past week. I think after the lackluster effort the previous week against North Allegheny on offense, and that's nothing to take away from the North Allegheny defense, because I'm sure that they're well coached with Art Walker and they played well. Tonight they are hitting on all cylinders. Everything they're calling up is working, and they are rolling.
And they're going for 2 after missing the point after the last time around, and it's Daniels who's hit as he releases, and this is going to go incomplete as he was trying to go across the green and it just did not work. So they settled for just the 6 more points to make it 40-7, but still, bottom line there, boy, they have been really outstanding in every capacity there. The blocking on that play has been pretty much consistent all night long. They have dominated the line of scrimmage, and their wide receivers, tight ends have pitched in as well to contribute to those holes.
Yeah, they've dominated the line of scrimmage. You see the scoring drive right there, one play, 25 yards, Texa with a 25-yard touchdown run. But you're right, they have dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Their skilled players have just made plays, and that's why the numbers are so big. When we came into the game, we were talking about Texa, over 1,500 yards rushing. Heidenreich with 35 catches for over 800 yards and 14 touchdowns. Daniels has been really good. And these three seniors, they're really tough to deal with. And they're right now they look like a force. They're a force that's going to be reckoned with in the PIAA playoffs as well.
There's no question about that. A veteran team, a team that knows each other, plays well together, and they do it on both sides of the football. And now Central Catholic has a daunting assignment. There's still plenty of time left, but they're going to need some luck, some big plays. As Brandon Jackson's back there to receive the kickoff, but it's to the up man, and it's fallen on at about the 28-yard line, and that's where Central will go to work. Rich Walsh is standing by with more on the sidelines. Let's go down to him right now.
Yeah, Mount Lebanon does something really unique. When the defense is out there, the offense comes over here to this tent, DV Sports, and they have a big monitor right here attached to an iPad, and they look over that series. Now, the big thing is Brian Lowe, the CEO of this company, was a Mount Lebanon grad, so I guess they get a pretty good deal on this stuff, right?
Oh, of course. They're everywhere now, by the way.
Probably a nice little booster, right? You get your booster club to go out and help you out with something like that, and it's an advantage.
All right, so Wayner over the middle trying to hook up on the pass connection. It does not happen. It falls incomplete there. Josh Altsman was the intended receiver.
Yeah, Wayner, that's a ball right there. Hits his receiver right in the hands. I'm not able to come away with it. But tough for his receivers out there tonight. They just haven't made the catches when the ball's been thrown to them. But Wayner, he's been on the mark for the most part.
But they've had opportunities on, drive-killing short yardage plays that Mount Lebanon has stacked up when they've had an opportunity and bounce right back with that with points on their own. So this is a throwback to a wide receiver, and Jackson's not going anywhere. That's very good coverage once again. Carruthers, one of the guys over there.
Defense flying to the football. Yeah, defense for Mount Lebanon. They are flying around right now. They're having fun, and you can tell they're dialed in to what they're doing. They want to finish this game strong. People are running to the football on defense. They're getting off blocks in the middle there. They're making it very, very tough on this Central Catholic offense.
Mount Lebanon 11-0 coming into this game, trying to make it a perfect 12-0, and there is Eli Heidenreich with an interception, although the official said it's on the ground and incomplete, but he was in position to make the play defensively, so why not?
Man.
He's been all over the place.
What a play. You can see
jumped that one.
Yeah, look at him. He jumped right underneath there.
Good call.
Yeah, it was a good call. Great effort by Heidenreich, but a really good call by the referee over there. But look at Heidenreich break on that football. See, he kind of reads the quarterback's eyes, makes a break for it, almost comes away with the interception.
Heidenreich says he had long hair throughout his entire life, so a military haircut may be a little bit of adjustment. He says his mom and dad will be anxious to see what he looks like with short hair, but you're going to find out.
That'd be a big switch for him.
7:34 left in this third quarter, and we have a timeout. We're going to take a break. 40-7, Mount Lebanon, after trailing 7-0, has come up with 40 unanswered points. Here at the 6A Championship at Norwin High School, we resume after this timeout. All right, we're back with the 6A Championship game here, third quarter, 7:34 remaining. It's been all Mount Lebanon. Emerson Central Catholic scored first on the very first possession, 40 straight points, and the star of this game has been Alex Texa. 4 touchdowns, including a 25-yarder here, the only score of the third quarter. And the bottom line is they're just getting it done in every way they can. And now Central has to punt away. And it's Heidenreich back deep to receive this one. He's been very good on special teams throughout this season as well. So he makes plays on every possible way, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams. And he's going to call a fair catch on this one now as he backpedals to his own 33-yard line. And tonight, you know, is just first of 4 WPIAL championship broadcasts that we're bringing you here on Pittsburgh CW. We have 3 of them coming up next week, next Saturday. The 3A, the 4A, the 5As. Those are live from Heinz Field with the first kickoff starting at noon. Jared Martin will be there. Mike White, myself, Chris will be along later in the day for the 5A finals, and that should be a good game too. So check out next weekend. You're home for the championship high school football games right here on Pittsburgh CW. There's some good matchups there. There's no question.
There are. I mean, that 4A matchup is really intriguing with Bell Vernon and Aliquippa. I think the 5A has a chance to be just an absolute slugfest with 2 teams that are big and just run the football and physical.
Heidenreich again bounces to the outside now, makes a cut, makes another cut, trying to drag down. He can't. He has blockers. Eli Heidenreich is going to go the distance and add to what has been an unbelievable second half. 67 yards. He and Texa have been a 1- and 2-man show, and boy, what a great bit of running right there as the clock will continue to wind down as this deficit has grown to a big one. And take a look at the cutback running here, Chris. It's just fantastic.
I mean, making guys miss in space is their specialty, and we've seen it all evening. If it's not Texa, Heidenreich has been doing it, and what a play right there. I mean, look at him. They look like they haven't bottled up for the most part. A couple moves, makes a couple guys miss, and then he's off to the races, and he's got the speed to get there.
Extra point is up. J.D. Younger had a hold of him, and he just ripped right away from him. And then he had blockers down the field, too. So he had everything going.
Yeah.
And it's 47-7. Take another look here, Chris Schneider.
Yeah, no question. This is like single wing football right here. You get guys blocking on the edge, and then it becomes about a guy's can he make some guys miss? And you can see he run through a couple arm tackles like that, help set up some blocks, and then it just becomes a foot race. Both of these guys tonight, Heidenreich and Texa, have been outstanding with the football in their hands. 2 playmakers. You might not see a better 1-2 punch in the WPIAL than these 2 guys, and the show that they put on here tonight.
Spectacular. Coming into this game, almost 2,600 of combined yards, 229 average in the game between both of them.
And I'm watching him. He's going to Navy, and if you're Navy, I'm begging. Can you get your teammate to come with you? Can you please get these? I mean, unbelievable.
Oh my. The rushing yards have just, again, when you had 67 yards to the one we just had there, his individual totals are way up there. But 404 so far to Central Catholic. I did not expect that coming into this game.
I did not either.
Even though the first time they played Mount Lebanon won fairly handily.
Yeah, and that first game, I mean, kind of almost, you almost kind of look at it, you go, well, there was a rain delay. They came back in the second. Oh, man, look at this. And then they onside kick it.
Oh, my. And now an onside kick up 47-7. And they're going to call it as such. Wow.
I mean, this happens so fast. The referees don't know. I don't think they know.
I don't know. Did you expect anything like that? I would never expect anything like that at 47-7.
Yeah, I don't know if they blew the whistle for the kickoff or not.
Defense.
Okay, Mint. That's going to be on illegal procedure
on the kicking team. 5 yards, re-kick.
So they're saying they were offsides?
Well, I don't know that the officials were ready for that. I honestly don't think so, because we were watching and you can see they wound the clock there. So, yeah, the refs were not set. The one was running away from the ball, you saw there. And then they signaled it was Mount Lebanon ball, but then they obviously changed their mind.
I don't know if they. It sounded like there was a whistle that was blown though. Whenever that we just saw that initial clip, and you wonder if a whistle was blown, and it's a really smart play. But obviously, the official we saw running out from there was not set. So.
But let me ask you, if you're on the other side of the field, and you see that call against you down 40, what do you think?
Oh man, that's a tough one to swallow if it does happen. I mean,
those guys were roommates. Those guys were roommates. What's going to happen tonight when they call, or tomorrow? Maybe they're not going to talk to each other.
Maybe they're not going to talk to each other after something like that. But man, knowing both of them, I'm not quite sure either one of them would want to. Hey, listen, we play. Let's play the game, and they take their lumps as much as they've given them out, and they've given out. Listen. Both these guys have given out lumps, to a lot of teams out there.
Well, already in this half, we've seen a couple of sloppy penalties on Central Catholic. One was called for roughing. Another one was unsportsmanlike conduct out of bounds. There were a lot of things here, and some of them I thought were now a little bit of reverse action, which is going to go nowhere. But there's a part of Central's got to be frustrated, and I think that frustration showed on that drive where they had back-to-back penalties for 30 yards.
Yeah, that was that was pretty much it. Whenever that happened there, to start the third quarter, the thing you could not do is assist them offensively, because you just got kind of they were having their way with you in the first half. You come out and then you assist them with 30 free yards and penalties, frustration. You could call it maybe a lack of discipline, lack of focus. I think it's just more of a frustration, because they're not. Listen, they're usually on the other end of these things. They're the ones dishing out the punishment. I think the interesting thing though is after the first drive of the game, they've never found any offensive rhythm, and you got to credit Mount Lebanon and the defense what they've done here this evening.
J.D. Younger is in the backfield now for the first time that we've seen him, along with Gannon Carruthers for Central Catholic, as the Vikings trail here by 40, and that clock continues to wind down. Yeah, believe it or not, for those of you just tuning in, it was 7-0 at 1 point Central. Here's Peyton Weiner, and he gets close to first down yardage across the 45. It'll be 2nd and 1 coming up for the sophomore. Broke his leg last year, rebounded, had to go through a rehabilitation process, but had a pretty good season this year.
Well, and you mentioned something earlier, when we were talking, this is a young Central Catholic football team. This is a lot of sophomores and juniors that are out here playing. Don't get me wrong, they have some seniors, but this is a predominantly younger group of guys. So for them to be as successful as they were with some young guys, only you know what's going to be coming back, and you know what you're going to be getting with these guys here in the future.
And you look at their team, Peyton Weiner is a sophomore. They use Brandon Jackson quite a bit. He's a senior, but other than that, Peter Gonzalez is a sophomore. Vernon Settles, who is related to the great Charlie Batch, he's only a sophomore as well.
Personal foul on the defense, 15 yards, first down.
One senior on the offensive line.
Yeah, they got 4 guys underclassmen up there, and that's going to bode well for them next year. So I would look early in the season next year and look at Central as a team that's going to be right there at the end again.
Listen, they're always going to be. They got a great coaching staff. They're going to regroup after a game like this. Tonight they kind of ran into a buzzsaw. They kind of ran into a couple guys, and they were determined to win. And this started 3 years ago whenever Bob Palchko got to Mount Lebanon, and they were going to finish the job, and they're doing it here tonight.
J.D. Younger has first down yardage there. And he gets to the outside before Matt Works was there to knock him down, but that'll be, at least I thought it was a first down from here.
Stopped on the play by number 4, Matthew Works.
Just a little bit short. They gave him
no,
first
they
down.
gave it to him. Yeah, it was right at the line.
Well, it's an important thing now if you're coaching on the other sideline where you're staring down this deficit, but down by 40 points. How do you guys respond? Do they quit or do they keep fighting?
And it's a good teaching tool, certainly. And I'm sure Terry Totten is telling those guys that. So what are you going to do? You know? And we'll see. This is a drive. Right now, their best drive they've had in you know, for the most part of this game, other than that first drive of the game. They haven't really moved the ball at all. And there's a nice defensive play there by Mount Lebanon. It's Louis Petrogallo who comes up and makes the play.
Yeah, you know, we're into the running. You know, the clock is running now. The clock can't stop. You know, because of the 35-point rule. And now it's about, you know, what's your competitive spirit? You know, when you're down, you're staring down this deficit right now. What's your competitive spirit? How bad do you want to compete?
All right, 2nd down and 11 now for Central Catholic, down by 40 as they send Carruthers in motion. Wayner goes to the end zone. He's going to overthrow Younger, his intended receiver, with Matt Wirtz in coverage.
Yeah, quarterback and receiver not on the same page right there. And that's kind of the way their offense has kind of been, especially in the passing game. Just haven't been able to really get in rhythm, get in sync here tonight. You know, Peyton Wayner, you know, thrown for 1,300 yards and 16 touchdowns, took care of the football, only 2 interceptions. But tonight with his 2 receivers, you know, with Younger and Gonzalez and Jackson, it just hasn't come together for them.
So Wayner on the day, 5 for 12. Not much yardage there. And again, he's a guy who, give him an opportunity. If he has some opportunities to throw the ball down the field, he's been successful all season long, but there have been none so far in this game. And it starts by shutting down Carruthers. Other than that first drive, we haven't seen much of Gannon Carruthers, and he has been their workhorse. He carries the ball more than anyone else, and it's just not been able to get done. I think a key stop in this game was the 4th down, where they stopped them in the backfield and had a loss of 2, and they moved right down the field after that, and Mount Lebanon scored. So essentially, you know, it could have been a 2-possession change right there. Hey, and you've seen what Central running back Gannon Carruthers looks like now, but check this out here, Chris. 11 years old, running for a touchdown with the Hampton Dogs, the youth team. Carruthers Dogs team, they won the Super Bowl championship that year as they beat Mars at Pine Richland Stadium. So he's grown up quite a bit since then. Number 2 there, number 4 here, and number 1 in your heart if you're a Central Catholic fan. Good stuff. Greg McConnell finds his stuff out when he produces his stuff, and he has video of these guys at various ages. And there's a drop pass. Wirtz once again in coverage. He's been good over there on Brandon Jackson, the senior.
Yeah, he arrived. Perfect timing. They got the slant route. Get a quick slant. You see the ball gets there. Defender gets right in rhythm with the ball and jars it loose. A good play defensively for Mount Lebanon. And, you know, after that first drive, Mount Lebanon, they had settled in defensively, and they have really dominated. They've dominated for 3 quarters now.
They really have. Central, this is their deepest penetration, I believe, since then. They had the 4th and 1 was also at about this point of the field, but they couldn't convert it, and they turned the ball over. And Mount Lebanon just immediately goes right down the field. And they have those home run hitters on their team. And anytime you have a guy like Texan Heidenreich, things are going to happen. Here's Wayner under pressure. He eludes it, rolls right, trying to get to the outside. Cannot get there as he knocks out of bounds. As we go under a minute left, Connor Young was there.
Boy, you can see protection breaks down. Smith gets into the backfield. Wayner just takes off, and you can see the pursuit from these guys. They're hunting out there right now defensively. They are pinning their ears back, and they are getting after it.
The mercy rule is in effect, which is the clock runs, although it's stopped here. Change of possession would stop it, and that's the only way that's going to stop it. It'll keep running, and those are the rules from the WPIAL. 47-7 at this point. So yeah, at this point, we got a lot of backups into the game at this point for Mount Lebanon, it would appear. All right, Mount Lebanon up 40. And a handoff. Not much there for Louis Petrogallo as he gets his first carry of the night. So I didn't expect this kind of game, Chris. I really didn't. I thought we'd have a really tough game that featured a lot of back and forth, big plays both ways.
I really thought when I looked at the statistics and I started looking at everything on paper, you start looking at the lineups and everything, I thought, man, they look pretty even to me. Like this was going to be an even, close, tight ball game, and I really thought that they would, it would be contested that way. I did not see it happening. I did not see it unfolding like this, where just one team just after the, just kind of really imposed its will on the other one and just dominated.
Dead ball, encroachment on the defense, 5 yards.
All right. On that penalty, we will end the quarter. So it's been all Mount Lebanon ever since the first drive of the game, which went to Central, and they had a 7-0 lead. Mount Lebanon has responded with 47 straight points. We'll be back with the fourth quarter. 6A championship appears to be Mount Lebanon's. We'll be back after this. We're back, 6A championship game, which appears to be decided Mount Lebanon. 47 unanswered points after Central had the lead. Bob Pompeani, Chris Schneider, along with Rich Walsh, were here as we have 12 minutes left in this game. 2nd and 11 for Mount Lebanon, and they have a lot of backups in the game right now. And it's a handoff once again. Patrick Gallo doesn't have much there on his second carry of the night. Rich Walsh is standing by with a special guest who's, I'm sure, very happy with right now. What's up, Rich?
Yeah, guys, I'm with former Pitt star and West A star Tyler Pelko, son of Bob Pelko. You got to be loving this right now.
Yeah, it was fun. We came in from Kansas City just for a couple days early, so see Pops in the WPIAL championship game. So got the whole family here. It's exciting for him and for the community. It's been 21 years since these guys have been in this game, so I'm happy for him, obviously, but the community's pretty happy, so it's exciting.
You told me before the game that he was dialed in, and it looks like obviously they're dialed in right now. What he's been able to do there doesn't surprise you at all, right?
No, I think especially in this day and age, I mean, it's hard to find, coaches that really care about kids, and he did that for a long time at West Allegheny, and obviously they didn't want him there anymore, and doesn't surprise me at all. He loves kids and wants to see him grow into productive young men, and not at all.
Short retirement, though. 3 months, that's it.
Yeah, actually, 6 weeks. He came out to Kansas City to spend some time with his grandkids. He was there for 6 weeks, took a one-way ticket out, and he started, hanging out on the back porch by himself on the cell phone, so I was wondering what he was doing. But, yeah, short retirement, but he'll die with a whistle in his mouth.
So Pitt Coastal champs today. What do you like what they're doing over there?
Obviously, they got a great quarterback. Kenny's done a heck of a job. I'm really proud of him and, what he's done. Really mature, came back and made himself a lot of money. But it's good to see Pitt back in the the national spotlight again, and hopefully that they can continue and keep going and stay there for a while.
So last question. You live out in Kansas City. What have you been up to? Tell me a little bit about what's going on in your life.
I work for a company called Solutions 21. We're a leadership development consulting company. So instead of getting to coaching and getting fired if going 2-14, we coach business executives and high potential folks that to help them become leaders in their businesses. So it's going well. I'm really happy, and we're doing a lot of good things with the company. It's actually based out of Pittsburgh. We got 7 offices all over the country, so we're having a lot of fun.
So you're going to spend some time back here in Pittsburgh too?
I'm going to be back. Yeah, well, our office is here. I'm back here a bunch, but kids are getting big and have a bunch of activities. So they're here for till next Saturday and get a chance to see Grandma and Grandpap and take them down to Heinz Field and see all the Pittsburgh stuff.
One thing you touched on was Kenny Pickett and what he's been able to do. Were you surprised at his growth and maturity? Because he reminds me of you a little bit.
Well, I appreciate that, but he's a lot better than I am. But, really what I'm been impressed with him about is his maturity. I mean, he called me, called a bunch of other people about, coming back. And, he handled that whole process amazing. He's a gym rat. He's a tough kid, but he's ready for professional football. He works his tail off, on and off the field. Really proud of what he's been able to do as a leader with that program. They're lucky. Pitt's lucky to have him, and I'm really proud of the kid. He's made himself a lot of money.
And I know you've been working on your golf game too, Bob. We're going to set up a match, us two versus you two guys up there.
Is that Pomp?
Yes, Pomp.
Yeah, tell him he doesn't get any shots, but I'll pay for the greens fees.
No shots. Us two versus you guys. What do you think?
I think you guys are in trouble, actually, is what I'd say, because I know Tyler can play. Tell him I remember him from the Lemieux Invitational days. I know what he can do in those situations.
He said he knows what you can do from the Lemieux Invitational days. He's not fooled. You got to give him 15, he says.
15? Man, tell him I'll give him half of that. If he plays from the ladies' tees, then I'll do that. I'll give him half of that.
All right, you heard it, Pomp.
Shots fired.
Tell him I said, hey, he's got a beautiful family, and I'm proud of him that he's a good grandpa.
You heard it. Thanks a lot, Tyler. Appreciate it. Back to you guys.
All right, Tyler, thank you. I enjoy being Red Dad, but I will not play from those tees. I will, however, I'm considering, do you ever get to a point where you consider, when is it time to go to a senior tee? Think about that over the break and give me a realistic answer. We're going to go to break. Thank you to Tyler Palco and Rich Walsh down there, 47-7, Mount Lebanon in total command. We'll be right back.
After hitting golf balls, probably 1,000 golf balls a day, your joints pay the price. When I felt my body starting to break down, I said to myself, oh boy, what is this? I went straight to Dr. Bradley, straight to UPMC. He fixed it up. So identifying what your problems are, repairing that problem with the best doctor and obviously the best hospital. I can hit it further today than what I did back in 2000. I didn't choose to have a shoulder injury, but I did choose UPMC.
Design the door of your dreams at Energy Swing Windows and Doors. Choose everything from style, color, glass design, and hardware, and see what the door looks like on your home before you buy. We're the only showroom in Western PA where you can stop in and see every glass design offered by Provia. With hundreds of 5-star reviews, Energy Swing is dedicated to delivering a red carpet experience. Make a statement, make it your own, and get $500 off every door. Stop by our new showroom in Monroeville or visit EnergySwingWindows.com.
Even in these uncertain times, CCAC is still the best place to begin your degree. In person or online, this is a top-notch education with expert faculty. Whether you want to take a few classes or enroll for an entire semester, you can earn credits that transfer to more than 500 colleges and universities. Spend your first 2 years at CCAC and save tens of thousands of dollars while earning the credits you need. Get started today at ccac.edu.
The WPIAL Championships on Pittsburgh CW are brought to you by UPMC Sports Medicine, building better athletes, and by Carlow University, a tradition of academic excellence and social justice, and by First National Bank, the official bank of the WPIAL. Let's get started. First National Bank. All right, we're back. It's 47-7 at this point, and it's been all Mount Lebanon. So, do you play the senior? You're not old enough, but when you get to that point, would you consider it?
No.
I don't either. I haven't done so, and sometimes it makes me wonder.
Didn't you guys play a match this summer, and you were beating him?
Well, he beat me too.
Oh,
so,
did he?
Yeah, we go back and forth.
Okay.
Pretty even.
Where do you guys play at?
Wherever we can find a golf course. Mount Lebanon now with this clock going to continue to run, and really a surprising development from my point of view, just because I thought this was going to be a very competitive game. But again, the experience, I think we talked about that, the experience of Mount Lebanon is very much on display here. Those two guys in the backfield, plus, Daniel's a quarterback, 3 seniors, 3 guys who've been around, 3 guys who've been through ups and downs. They know how it works, and they stood out tonight.
Yeah, they've got a lot invested in this. You can tell that. You can tell by the way they play, but they've invested in this from the time that they got a new coach. And, when you bring in a new coach that has, knows how to build a program because he's done it before, it's about buying in. And you're going to get some kids that buy in, and you're going to lose some kids that aren't going to buy in. And the ones that obviously bought in are standing out here tonight. They're enjoying this because they're going to win their first championship in 21 years for the Lebos.
And it's always a good sign when your quarterback has a baseball cap on after 3 quarters and he's not in the game. And that was the situation with Joey Daniels. And that's going to be a first down run there by Aiden Dawson, who's a junior, getting his first opportunity to play in this game for Mount Lebanon as they get inside the 30 to the 29-yard line.
Boy, and you really got to like their chances in the state tournament as well, because they got some guys that they're just matchup nightmares. They really are from a skill position, and their offensive line is coming along, and they're playing really well. So they're going to be a tough out for anybody.
And it would be McDowell up next, right? James Conner territory up there.
Oh yeah, James Conner. That's right. The Erie McDowell. I think they won last night in their district.
Against Alderdice?
Yeah, against Alderdice, and so then they'll get the winner of this game, which obviously is going to, barring some sort of craziness, it's going to be Mount Lebanon.
Dead ball. Ball start on the offense. 5 yards. Repeat the down.
It's a matter of where that game will be, but I think this team right now, they're primed. They're playing well, and they hit it on all cylinders tonight. And if they continue to play like this, especially offensively and defensively, and with their special teams, they're going to be tough to beat.
19 first downs for Mount Lebanon in this game. Again, Central has been limited after their first possession. That was it. They haven't done much of anything since then, and that's a credit to the Mount Lebanon defense. They have been really on top of it, and they made life difficult for the outstanding running back Carruthers, and they've taken control of the game. They did so really midway through the first half of this game when they went up, and then they added to it right before halftime, and then came out in the third quarter and took advantage of field position they got. All right, believe it or not, it's been more than 20 years since Mount Lebanon has reached this championship game. And what would be the final high school game ever played at Three Rivers Stadium? You might remember this, Chris. The Blue Devils went back and forth with Woodland Hills. They hung on for a 14-13 win when Woody High couldn't convert an extra point in the final minute of the game. Wow. And that's how it ended. So Mount Lebanon, last one there, and the last win. So this is a new era in Mount Lebanon football, led by Bob Palco.
I think what's just interesting is they won the first championship ever played at Three Rivers
and
in 1970, and then the last one ever played at Three Rivers, which was 2000.
There were some great matchups too. Some of those teams, Woodland Hills.
Yeah.
And you know, when it was, you know, just 4 classifications, you seem to have a lot more rivalries involved. I don't know, you know, some of them have waned over the years because of the
I can remember going down there with my dad, and it was probably in the 80s whenever Gateway was in their heyday with Terry Smith and Curtis Bray. They played North Hills, who I think had the Bender brothers, and it was these great ball games, and it was packed. And I think Aliquippa and Ambridge played, and I remember seeing Pudgy Abercrombie play down there, and I just remember just going down there for those games, and it was just, I mean, there was big crowds, and it was great football.
All right, Alex Cavalde, the quarterback. He's been in there ever since Joey Daniels has gotten to the sidelines. Handoff up the middle as the clock continues to tick away. And what a good season, though, for Central Catholic. Like I said, last year they won the WPIAL championship, but they had immediately learned that there was a COVID, and it wasn't necessarily on their team, but it was in their school. And so that was back when they were just, that's it. You forfeited a game after that. So they got to the state championship round, and they couldn't play in it.
Yeah, and, you know, last year, obviously, with the COVID thing, you know, it was a little different. It was much more unaware of what was going on. This year, it's obviously, you know, with vaccinations being around and everything like that, and with the protocols that are in place. But yeah, that would have been a tough one to swallow. You win the WPL championship, and then you self-report yourself to take you out of the state tournament.
Yeah, that was their first playoff game in the state. It would have been, but it was canceled because of that, and they had to forfeit. We'll take a break here now. Change of possessions here going on. It's 47-7 inside of 5 minutes left on what will be a Mount Lebanon championship. All right, we're back at Norwin High School. It'll be a coronation of a championship in about 4 minutes and 29 seconds from now, as Mount Lebanon trailed early 7-0, 47 unanswered. They've come all the way back, and that means Mount Palco will move into some very, very rarefied air, as he will be tied with Bill Chirpak for the most WPIAL championships, 8 at West Allegheny, 1 here at Mount Lebanon. And boy, that's an amazing accomplishment when you consider just all the good teams TJ has had too. I mean, those are really good programs over the years. And now Central with the ball, and again, some new people coming in and out of the lineup at this point. But here's the graphic, Chris, and it takes you, as we update it, 9-9. And you know, Terry Totten has 6. If he had won tonight, it would have been up to 7.
Yeah, I mean, amazing when you really think about it. Bob Palco, has done it now with 2 different programs. Bill Chirpak has, obviously been at Thomas Jefferson for a long time. So you've got these 2 guys are side by side, and it's really no wonder. I mean, when you really look at them, as coaches and what they do, they have established programs. They're winners. I mean, that's the bottom line. They're going to win. They're going to get the kids to buy in, and they can get kids to do that. And that's tough nowadays, with to get kids on the same page and everyone striving towards the same goal. But you get a special group of players, you get a special group of guys, especially your coaches. You got to coach with good people. You got to have people buy in. You got to have support from everybody who you're working for. And he's obviously gotten it. And here they are, three quick years, and he's got him back and winning a championship.
And you talk about Phil Breidenbaugh of Newcastle. Craig McConnell tells me that was all the way back in the 1920s. So that 7 stood for quite some time before these guys came along.
Right.
And we've been honored to see some really great coaching.
Oh, man.
Through Western Pennsylvania. So many people and so many great programs.
Yeah, we really have. I mean, when you think about the ones that are successful, there's a turnover right there. Mount Lebanon created another turnover on defensive side of the ball there.
It came right out of his hands, it looked like.
But,
he was attempting to pass it.
You think about some of the, you mentioned coaches. I think, How about Coach George Novak at Woodland Hills and the run that he had with some of those teams? And obviously we saw them there in 2000. In that 2000 clip, they lost to Mount Lebanon, but it seemed like every year for a period there, they were either in the championship game, at the championship game. Aliquippa,
Mike Smianik, all the great teams he had there,
and and what those kids do there, and then you got the Thomas Jeffersons, obviously, but I mean, it takes a special group of players, and you got to have the guys buy in. You got to have a good staff around you. And I tell you what, you got to have a lot of sacrifice, because coaching high school football is a lot of commitment, and there's a lot of people that get sacrificed in that commitment. You know what I mean? Their wives, their children, things along those lines. I know they bring them along for the ride, but put a lot of time in.
No question about it. And they don't get paid a lot. They do it because of the love of the game. Since we're out here in Westmoreland County.
Oh, jeez.
Let's turn the page back.
You guys
Mid-1990s, when a young Chris Schneider sported number 42 at Penn Trafford High School. And as you can see these yearbook pictures, so we go back to the yearbook pictures. Chris was voted most athletic in his senior year. He apparently loved to stomp on basketballs for some reason. Every picture has you foot on a basketball. Why?
Where does he find? Because I played basketball.
Craig McConnell, but that's a type A move right there. Though,
hey.
That's to have the ball and you're stepping on it.
I had nice feet. What
you
can I say?
Feet. There you go. So what about your football team now? They're doing some pretty good things and have an opportunity.
Yeah, I went out to the game last night to get a peek of the two teams that were playing, Pine Richland and Penn Trafford, up at Gateway High School last night, and because we're going to be broadcasting that game next week in the 5A, so I wanted to get a read on both teams, and it was a really good game. First half was physical. Both teams kind of moved the ball between the 20s, and then they kind of got stuffed. The defenses played well in the second half. Cade Yakimelli, the Wisconsin recruit for Penn Trafford, started to wear them down a little bit. They really did. And I know that Pine Richland has been through a lot this past year. With everything that's gone on, the coaches, the kids, man, they were resilient. They had a lot of injuries, and the kids played hard. And, you tip of the cap to the kids from Pine Richland, because they deserve it. I know that they haven't been through much. They've been through so much with the coaching change. And, they won a state championship last year. Then they get a coaching change and some adversity early in the year. And they responded and got to the semifinals last night. They just came up a little bit short.
They did. And Moon's going to be a very difficult opponent.
Yeah.
It's a great Tigers team. They got there. Tough game for them last night, but they end up moving on. And so that'll be the 5A game. And like I said, it's good to see 5 teams are going to get a chance at Heinz Field. They're going to do 2 on Friday and then 3 more on Saturday.
Yeah. And you got some new teams. There's the usual suspects that are always there. Clareton and Thomas Jefferson seem like they're always there. Aliquippa, obviously they're going to make a return trip, but you got some new teams that are going to kind of. They got Bishop Canavan's one.
How about them? They haven't been there since 1990.
Yeah, I mean, you start to look at some of them. There's going to be some new blood down there over the next couple days after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so it should be fun. And like I said, we'll have 3 of those next Saturday for you. 2 on Friday afternoon, and some new blood, and it's good to see some new blood with regard to some of these matchups. But you also get some of the teams that you would expect, like an Aliquippa for 14 straight years in a finals.
Yeah,
Beaver Falls has a big history as well, and recently Walsh. We've done a few games with Walsh in there, and they've stepped up their football program as well.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of good teams, and we're going to see a lot of dynamic players. And one of the most dynamic players is Devin Whitlock, the quarterback at Bell Vernon. I mean, I've seen him play on TV. I've seen it on television, and man, we talk about dynamic and what he can do with the football in his hands. And I mean, you talk about special, and then you see a guy like Alex Texa tonight, how special he is, and you see Donovan Heinisch, a Notre Dame recruit. And I mean, there's just guys and players and coaches. I mean, I love that weekend. It's exciting. I can't wait to be a part of it.
So 17 seconds from now, that man, Bob Palko, will move to the top of the WPIAL list, tied with Bill Chirpak of Thomas Jefferson for the most WPIAL championships. This is number 9, and what an impressive one it has been. A senior-laden team, a team with a lot of experience. They executed his game plan perfectly, and they come away with a win here, 47-7. Is going to be that final score. And Mount Lebanon will now move on to take on McDowell, a team that beat Alderdice, as they just run out the clock here right now, and the celebrating could begin in Mount Lebanon. They stop it on a change of possession, turnovers and that sort of thing, but other than that, that clock keeps on running. But what a season it's been. Undefeated, ranked number 1, and a rematch. And Bob Palko told me he's always leery of rematches because you just don't know.
You never know, but I mean, you talk about a dominating performance. I mean, they really this is a punch. This is big time here what they did here tonight. I was not expecting something like this, and they handled their business in the way that a championship team that was on a mission does.
And we see Bob Pelko trying to get over to Terry Totten to exchange pleasantries, and that was a quickie. Terry's not in a very good mood, and I don't blame him. 47-7 was that final score, but a great season for Central Catholic. Mount Lebanon outstanding as they win convincingly and now move on to the state championships after an undefeated regular season and WPIAL. We'll be back to wrap it up. 47-7, Blue Devils win it all. Welcome back. Mount Lebanon wins it 47-7. Rich Walsh is standing by with one of the heroes tonight, Alex Texa, and his 4 touchdowns. Rich.
Yeah, I'm with our RE/MAX Select Player of the Game, Alex Texa. Big game, big stage, big moment. How'd this feel?
It feels great. It really does. You know, it's been 20 years, you know, since we won the WPIAL championship last. You know, I'm so happy for my boys and my coaches. We put in so much work. You know, we started in January. You know, we've been through so much, and you know, to see these smiles on these faces, it feels great. It really does.
Did you expect this kind of dominant performance from you guys?
You know, I really don't think so. You know, Central Catholic, they're dominant, they're well coached. They have athletes, you know, every year. So, you know, I was coming in for a dogfight. You know, I thought it was going to be a fourth quarter game. But you know, the outcome is the outcome. You know, we get the ring, so we get the trophy. So you know, that's all that matters.
For you personally, over 200 yards today, big part of this offense, 4 touchdowns. What's that feel like doing it here?
It definitely feels great, but all the credit goes to my offensive line and outside receivers. I mean, they blocked. You know, you could drive a truck through those holes tonight. You know, I give all the credit to them. You know, all these guys, the scout players, you know, the freshmen, the coaches. I give the credit to everyone else but me.
So now, the big question, where are you going to play football in college? You know yet?
You know, I'm still waiting a little bit. It's a big decision. I want to take my time. You know, there's a few schools that are still interested, so we're going to see. But I definitely want to make a decision soon.
Before we go, real quick, last question. Bob Pelko, what has he done for this program?
You know, he's totally changed the culture. You know, we talk about that all the time. You know, he's been so great to us. He's really taught us how to mentally handle things like this. You know, I've never been in a situation like this, and, you know, he's prepared us, you know, since January. So, you know, he's really turned this program around.
Thanks a lot. Good game. Good luck next week.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, back to you.
Yeah, what a performance by Alex Texa and Eli Heidenreich. Those two together were dynamic. Chris, as we're back up here in the booth taking a look at the final stats from this game, and they are one-sided and lopsided to say the least.
Wow, I mean, it's just, if you'd have told me that was going to happen, this was going to be the game tonight, I would have said no way, but only 129 yards for Central Catholic, 36 on the ground. I mean, just a complete dominant performance from Mount Lebanon on all three phases of the game. And as the guy you just heard, Texa, was a big part of it, but they just had so many guys make so many plays. They just dominated from start to finish. I mean, and you know, congratulations to them. This was well earned, and they did earn it tonight.
What a good interview. What a good kid that
Smart
Alex Texa.
kid,
Smart,
man. Someone's going to get a great.
Absolutely.
That kid is, I tell you what, if I'm a Division I coach, I'm looking for that guy right there can come play for me.
And maybe you're right. Eli Heidenreich might say, hey, coach,
I'm telling you.
I got somebody who should come with me here. We have a tandem in high school. We can take it on into college at Navy. We'll see. But Mount Lebanon celebrating with their fans. They're here in large quantity, and why not? It's been a long time. Bob Pelko, congrats to him and Mount Lebanon High School for winning the championship of 6A impressively after trailing 7-0. It's 47-7 your final, and also a congrats to Terry Totten and his team. It's a younger team. It's going to be back. They got a lot of underclassmen. Look out for them next year. Thanks for joining us here for the 6A championship game. For Rich Walsh, Chris Schneider, and all of us, I'm Bob Pompeani. Have a good night. We'll see you next Saturday from Heinz Field.